A night in with MauLer and the drinker, getting trashed with the web-stream thinkers. A cheap night cause I'm feeling kinda thrifty, got a 10-pack of beers and a bottle of whiskey. Hop up the cork, have a glass of wine, I'll say, I'll be fine. Trouble walking in a straight line, but pour me a Pinot Noir. It's open bar with our hosts, MauLer and the critical drinker.
Thank you. Try to contain your excitement. It is us. You're here, all of us. We're just going to bring everyone in all at the same time. It's great.
I was going to say this. We've never done this before. You're breaking all the rules, man.
No, there are no rules when open bar is concerned.
Oh my god.
Yeah, well, it saves having to do that like long introduction. It's like we're all here, we're all ready to go. You know who everyone is. We got MauLer, we got Disparu, we got Fringy, and we're here and we're ready.
There's also you.
What's that?
There's also you. I was going to say you want to mention yourself, right?
I don't want to do that. No.
What if people don't know who you are?
No, that's true. Actually, yeah, I'm pretty shy.
Say I'm the drinker. I do drinkings. I got vodka today, just a little bit.
My name is the Critical Drinker, and that's why I drink. There we go.
You drink because that's your name.
Exactly.
The egg.
They have to. It's the
Which
brand.
one came first?
And it allows me to overcome my overwhelming hatred of the world. So
Well, that's a good enough reason.
Shouldn't it be critical? Ain't got time to. Actually, I was going to say ain't got time to drink wouldn't mash because you.
No, always got time to drink.
Yeah, always got time to
What
drink.
does it mean to
maybe?
be a
Always
drinker
make
who
room.
has no time to drink? That just sounds like cruel and unusual punishment.
Maybe he never drinks. It's just an IV attached and just goes straight in.
All right, just right into the bloodstream.
Mm.
I mean,
the TV that's coming up over the next couple of months.
Rise and
it's gonna be a
grind
good
instead
time
of
too.
drinking. You just inject it right into your veins.
But yeah, it's been a while. Well, I was going to say, Disparu, you've become kind of a regular in this show, actually. Damn, man. But yeah,
there's
you
been a lot
you're
of topics.
kind of
that
always
we've done.
covering the stuff that we are talking about on open bars.
It's 'cause it's-
I was waiting for him to be like, "You keep asking me to come. I don't know what you what."
Yeah, it's like I'm not just turning up every week because I asked them to let me in this week. No, it's just
It's like I don't even send you an invite; you're just somehow there. You know?
Yeah. Even the first time, it's like, how on earth did he get this link? I don't know what's happening. Yeah, it's just I don't know. I get attracted to trash. What can I say? So you start reviewing stuff.
Well, that's it. Yeah, and this show's all about trash. So there we are. So.
Yeah.
And yeah, Fringy, I can't remember what you covered the last time.
I think it was Matrix, which I hadn't even seen.
Oh my
Oh, really?
god! Remember that?
Yeah. Nobody remembers that. It just came and went. It's gone. Like it's evaporated. Nobody cares anymore.
Yeah.
Feels like a sort of sign of the industry at the moment. Every project sort of comes in, and then everybody's talking about it for a little bit, and then it totally disappears and doesn't have like that much staying power or relevancy.
That would
Which
be
is probably not a good thing.
a really great pub quiz. Would be like, if a Terminator film was to be released, what Terminator film would it be? Number 6, 7, 8, or 9? And it'd be like,
I think that'd be a struggle for a lot of people.
Yeah, maybe you should go like 4, 5, 6, 7. See if that would confuse them enough.
I mean,
Yeah.
they'd probably just call it the Terminator anyway. So
Well, this is yeah. Well, what's a prime candidate for this kind of like numbering fuckery? It's the Predator.
Yeah, they don't
series.
do. Oh
Where
yeah,
we had-
yeah.
It was nice and sensible up till a point. It was Predator 1 and 2. Then it became like, Predators. Then it was the Predator, and then it was Prey. Fucking
Yeah,
why
I think
can't
which
They
they
were-
changed the brand entirely.
I think we shouldn't blame AVP because they were starting their own little thing. All right, we should blame Predators.
Mhm.
Predators probably should have been called Predator 3 or Predator and then a subtitle.
What is the logic behind that, though? Yes, we will make more money if we call it Predators instead of Predator 3.
Because
Why?
everyone goes, "Oh my god, there's going to be more than one Predator in the movie." When
I know
AVP
that,
already did that. So it's
that's
like-
true.
But there could have
That
been
is
3
the
Predators
reason.
in Predator 3.
Is it
Yeah,
kind of
exactly.
based on the logic or the perception that Predator 2 wasn't a very successful movie, like financially?
Possibly.
Because-
Maybe.
I remember
Bizarre.
thinking when I heard about it, I was like, "Oh, like aliens, predators. Are we doing that? Is that what? Are you trying to evoke that somehow? Do you think you're going to make that kind of movie? Because you're not. It's not happening."
I guess you can't fault them for their ambition, though.
Oh yeah. Well, then,
Oh, maybe
then
you
we have
can.
when you roll around to 2018 and the Predator comes out, it's just like, this is absurd now. Like, what the fuck? You've got like 3 different franchises within the franchise.
It seems
like the idea of-
I'll go for it.
Prey just like changes it to essentially what's happening in the movie. It's like, well, there's predators and prey. So in Terminator, you just kind of have like, you'd have to call it robot or something. That'd be really, it's the most bizarre way of changing the name of the
time-traveling robot.
Yeah, it's just gonna. Well, you've had iRobot, so we might as well have the iRobot. Just
it's
funny
because
a long time ago, Salvation started the trend of being like, we ain't doing numbers anymore, fuckers.
It's because everybody's afraid of 4. Nobody wants to call their film 4. They always change the name.
It's too old when it gets to 4. It's got to be hip and cool. That's what
Marvel
have already skipped to it with Doctor Strange. They ain't doing Doctor Strange 2. They're going straight to In the Multiverse of Madness.
They've totally skipped that for everybody.
I think the worst titling of a movie was when we had Aliens versus Predator Requiem.
That
may be the
Requiem
most
is
pretentious title.
They just found a
movie
word they
ever.
thought was cool.
It's like
they don't remember
Revelation.
how dark that film was.
Yeah, that film was really difficult to see what was going on a lot of the time.
Such a bizarre thing that happened. Those two, and it was made by Paul W.S. Anderson, the first one. What are the how about that?
That's definitely a relic of the 2000s, isn't it? Like Alien versus Predator, the first one really feels like a 2000s action movie.
The question I'd want answered from a lot of people about that movie is, are you happy that it was made for the novelty of it, or would you prefer it be removed from history? Because I feel like I'd have fun if I was to rewatch it, but it did damage to the Alien and Predator franchises. So,
I mean,
Aliens was kind of on the floor by that point because we'd had Alien Resurrection, which was
Resurrection killed Alien,
garbage, and this was just like I feel like Alien needed it more than Predator did, and I just remember it being really goofy and really unfocused and just. It was one of those matchups that was just, it sounded great on paper, but then the reality of it was like nowhere near as good. And that's kind of what we got. It just felt like such a waste. I would have loved to have seen something like the Colonial Marines from Aliens going up against Predators and Aliens simultaneously. Like that could have been awesome.
That sounds better as a premise already. I think it's I think those films just made it feels like I think people sometimes don't appreciate how good like Aliens and Predator are. And I wonder if it's the existence of something like Alien versus Predator that kind of like waters down how great those concepts are and makes them more like generic movie monsters.
I think, the longer this goes on, the more bad films get like layered on top of the good ones, the more we're going to forget them. And
exactly.
Like how good the concept was when it's properly executed.
I can't remember which stream it was. We were talking about how like a lot of quote unquote fans of these franchises have started to be like, oh, the originals were pretty bad too. You're like, wait, what the fuck? Stop doing that.
That's uses for everything though. It's like that's their excuse. If you say something bad now, well, it's always been bad. It's like
what a weird defense.
If we drag down history,
like gaslighting 101. It's like it was never as good as you remember. You're mistaken. Hey, how's it going, man?
Hi.
How's the White Russians?
All right.
Oh no.
Pretty good.
How's you right, mate? You're right. You looking all right, mate?
He's very all right.
I got a little distracted. So I decided I have come to the street. I brought a Moscow Mule mug. I have my measuring.
Measuring.
That's a 25.
That I'm willing to
we
bet
won't be needing that tonight. And that's a 50. I was a little late because I was preparing a little bouquet. It's a little bouquet of ice.
Oh,
Just saying.
Very nice.
So I have the little bouquet.
You make it seem downright like you're like classy compared to us.
Let's get it out of the freezer.
We have the
you got a bottle of them.
A new fresh one.
Absolute vodka.
We're going with the absolute tonight. Sir, would you like to go to the absolute tonight?
Would you like to taste our vodka, sir? We have absolute on the menu.
Oh, that tastes delicious. Yes, we'll go with that, please.
When you told me that you were going to have White Russians, you didn't tell me you were going to start on them yesterday.
I needed to make sure they were going to be good. You see, I
got a taste.
I had to get
Very
the
good
right
one.
balance of ingredients, you see. And then we have the, of course, the coffee liqueur. And finally, because it's a White Russian, we're not going with milk. You know, some people like, you know, no, you gotta do it properly. You gotta go with a single clam. A singular clam. So I am very sorry for being late, sir, and interrupting Mr.
Yeah, you've ruined the whole
Disparu's.
stream.
Honestly, dude, we were just killing time until you got here, so
Yeah.
you're all right.
Party ain't starting without the White Russian.
I will mute myself for the moment as I drop some fresh ice cubes into the glass.
I like the idea that when the waiter offered as Absolute Vodka, Az was like, "What vintage?" And he was like, "Oh, 2021, sir." And he's like, "Oh, wow, aged to perfection."
Aged appropriately, I see.
Could we have a selection? I'm a real fan of the 2020.
Yeah.
It was a good year for vodka.
So this is my little thing is that wasn't that
Why are you
wasn't
talking about your little thing? Or
that wasn't an admission, Justin. We'll get onto my little thing later. But my bouquet is meant to keep those cubes down. Look at this. It's got a slot in the top, so I can put my pincers in it.
You like doing your posh voice. You went, "Look at it's got that in it."
Right, it's got fucking hole. It's all right. Right, you fight. You put your
Right,
grippers in it.
Is that a deliberate?
Ladies and
Is that
gentlemen
like
of
a?
the chat, place your bets now. Will Az still be alive by the end of the stream?
Oh, come.
Come.
Oh, wait, that's a strange instruction.
Okay. Maybe.
Well, you actually no. So you did arrive at a great time for this, right? Because we were just starting to talk a little bit about Prey. So I know there's been conflicting views on this movie, and it's probably good if we just start off like if each person gives their just their initial position on the film, like maybe a couple of sentences just saying why they feel the way they do about it.
Wow,
does
that's
that sound?
surprisingly organized for Open Bar. I'm going to be honest with you.
I know this is literally the only time I'm going to do this, right? It's gonna be chaos. So yeah, let's just go clockwise. Like we'll start with MauLer, the long man himself.
We're skipping drinker, are we? Is that it? Is that what we're doing? Oh, I guess that does
That's
start with me
man.
clockwise.
I can go first if you want.
No, I was just thinking about the clock. I guess it would be starting
The
with me,
12
wouldn't
is
it?
at the
Oh,
top,
yeah, 12
not
Yeah.
a little bit to the... Yeah,
All
12
right.
o'clock does not mean slightly to your ahead and left.
Well,
God.
when you say clockwise, that doesn't mean you start at 1 or
No,
12.
no,
It
no,
doesn't,
you-
it doesn't mean anything about
but-
where you start. You can start wherever
That's
you
my
want.
point.
Yeah,
You can't take
Yeah.
my point.
You sound like the fucking drunk people here, not the fucking.
Yeah. So anyway, Prey. Oh, what a movie.
I'm praying.
I think I was expecting it to be the worst thing ever, and when I got given something that's pretty fine, I was like, "Whoa, that's cool. I like this." Just I was very much appealed to by all of the very baseline lizard brain stuff, like watching a predator hunt for sport. Yeah, that was crazy. It's been a while since I've seen that, so I enjoyed it a lot. I enjoyed watching him be interested in how predators work on the old earth. I enjoyed watching him beat the fuck out of things. But at the same time, in the same way, I didn't like his lack of intelligence in lots of areas. I didn't like how a lot of coincidences were to happen, how a lot of armor was given to different characters. There's a lot of little writing flaws that are just peppered throughout this much stuff I do like. And that's why I was like curiously in the middle, just sitting here like, well, I'm up for saying good things and bad things about it. And it seems like this film, through discussion online, has been splintered into getting a bit hyperbolic on either side. Seems like a lot of people want to rush into being saying like, no, it is fucking garbage. Okay, yes, better than The Predator, but like slightly. And then another side is like, actually, it's a masterpiece. This is the best film of all of them, and you should appreciate it for blah blah blah. I'm just sitting here like, oh man, I don't know. There's some stuff in it I like, some stuff in it I don't like, and that's the world I'm gonna live in.
I still want to add to this, but I'm going to wait. So, anyway, Fringy, what do you reckon, man?
So I like Prey. I think it's a cool movie, but I'd say that I like it more than I think it's great. Kind of basically for the same reasons that there's stuff in it to appreciate. But there are also some problems, like coincidences, some instances of flimsy writing, but I guess it's just like it's nice to watch a film where, yeah, it is the predator getting to be the predator, go out on the hunt, display some level of the aspect that's cool about the predator being that there's some sort of rules that they abide by, like a nature of the hunt that they try to engage in that's interesting. I like the characters, but I think that it's got problems that hold it back, and that if it had really, like, it's got a cool premise, it's got a decent enough base that if with minor tweaks it could have been great. I think, yeah, that's basically what I think about Prey.
Fair dues. What about Disparu?
For me, there were I like some of the action sequences. I think when the French people arrived, it improved a lot because that's when the action really kicked off. I watched the first 43 minutes and then I stopped watching it for an entire week because I despised the first 43 minutes. And every time they opened their mouth, I think they made it worse. And there's this ongoing through line throughout the entire movie that just everyone underestimates her, and if only we stopped underestimating women, then we'd realize how dangerous they were and we wouldn't die. And they even apply that to the Predator. And also, a lot of the animals don't even act like they should have done. Like, there's bears that don't just go after easy meat. They seem almost like they're deliberately attacking people, like they don't like people. So there's a lot of behavior about the animals I don't like. I like some of the fight scenes, but the actual plot around the movie I did not like at all.
Okay, fair play, man. Az, what about you? If you can summon up a coherent sentence or two.
I do need some Dutch courage. Hold on. So I'm not used to being online and doing these things. I think this film is style over substance. I think it's a beautifully looking film with a really interesting premise, which is absolutely clumsily executed, with an amazingly unlikable plank of wood as a protagonist who is disrespectful to a tribe, condescending to a tribe, who doesn't listen to a tribe. She would have been outcast the way that she's behaving in the actual film itself. And it all culminates in that horrendous, massive, intersectional feminist ending where she just looks around the tribe and she just looks at women and the women just look back and are all smirking and smiling because all the men are gone. Woman power. The fight at the end is absolutely pathetic and turns into a farce at times. Other than that, her brother's really good, and it's a shame that he's criminally misunderused in the film. The Predator, I like the fighting that the Predator does. I like the escalation of the prey that he goes for and the way that he sort of looks at their tactics and then responds accordingly. When the trappers come along, it does make it much more interesting because the protagonist of this movie is not remotely interesting.
Fair dues, man. Well, I guess I'll try and give my own brief summary of it. I went into it with the lowest of low expectations. I think maybe in retrospect, I was a little hard on the trailer. But seeing the movie, it was better than I expected. I think it was nice to see a Predator movie that took itself seriously again and presented the Predator as an actual horrific, threat that was actually meant to be intimidating. So it did that pretty well. I think it gave it an interesting setting that was different from what we'd had before. It wasn't just a bunch of guys with guns in a jungle again. It was something completely different. So that's commendable. I think where it starts to fall down is in the character development. I think, the main character just didn't have much to her. I didn't really get much of a motivation and a personality there. There's a little bit of too much plot armor towards the end, particularly. And things like the French hunters that she encounters are just like the most, ridiculous, stereotypical, like awful people that you can imagine because they're meant to be that way in the film. Like they just want that negative depiction of them. The Predator itself also succumbs to being kind of dumb at times, like just walking into very obvious traps and ambushes when they've never done that before. And it seems to be able to tank an awful lot of damage, which it never used to be able to. And yeah, the ending, which I'll talk about later in more detail, but like kind of like soured the experience for me when I saw her reaction to like all this stuff that she'd been through. But yeah, there was a lot to like, but there was also a lot to dislike, and it felt like with a few tweaks and a few adjustments, the film could have been so much better. And I think that's what's frustrating for me about it.
I agree. All right, now we all just talk about random shit, yeah?
Yeah, let's do it,
Yeah.
things that jump out at you, I suppose. Like it's just whatever things come to mind.
This would be something I'd float past everybody. I think the first change that I would want to see in the film is that we don't see the Predator fully until like halfway into the movie. Like I think that we probably shouldn't have shown the Predator actually getting into fights with animals before we see him kill the bear and then get soaked in its blood. And so like our first full confirmation that this is the Predator, he's here and he's hunting on Earth. It comes at the same time as Naru, the main character. That's something I would have preferred to see.
I go as far as saying,
like when you see it battling a wolf and the wolf actually bites it and injures it, I'm just like that makes the Predator seem really clumsy and dumb.
well, so the room I would give that is just that we're supposed to assume, I think, that the Predator's brand new to everything here. He doesn't know how any of this works, apparently.
He's
So
learning
just,
as
like,
he's
testing shit
going.
out.
Yeah.
That's another thing I picked up about this movie that's kind of baffling. I have no idea what his endurance is. He takes what look to be pretty big blows a lot.
Fights
through
a
the film.
bear.
There's
But
times, there's times when he gets like a spear shoved right through his
Yeah.
chest, and
His arm gets cut off, and it's
But
like
he's
there's
sort
no
of-
squirting blood or anything. It just
Yeah, he's pretty
stops.
chill about a lot of these injuries, which is weird. It's like, oh, are you okay, buddy? Like you shouldn't be okay, but you
Predator
seem to be.
movies have been doing this increasingly since probably the second one. Like less so in Predators because there was more of them and stuff, but like Predator 2, like he gets blasted with a shotgun at point blank range multiple times
Yeah, he
and like
does.
gets up from it. But then the Predator is just ridiculous. It's like a Street Fighter game. He's just got a health bar and they have to slowly chip away him. They're like hitting him with rocket propelled grenades and shit, and he's still going.
They even said he had like underskin armor and stuff.
Yeah,
It's like the way
the thing that I liked about the original movie is that he wasn't this invincible threat that couldn't be stopped. Like very much, he was damageable. It's just that he was very hard to hit because you couldn't see him.
Yeah, like
That-
he didn't have the greatest of health bars, I don't think. It was just always implied that he was good at his job. Which,
Well, yeah, that was the whole point of him being invisible.
yeah.
Was him not being hit.
This is the thing,
And
well,
then
I don't think
when
he'll ever
when
crack.
he's repairing himself, he does talking in the first film. He does, lets out the scream when he's.
Oh, it's
This
great,
one's
dude.
just like when he's fighting the trappers. He's just getting shot and speared and
you see him
yeah.
heal up briefly, but it's like it's like a 5-second scene where he can just spray some stuff on it and it just closes up all his
Well,
wounds. So it's like,
As you
okay,
pointed out, he got speared through like what looked to be his like pectoral muscle, even the shoulder blade. I'm not sure exactly. Like
he got shot in the head.
He did.
got the
that's
back
true,
of
he
the
did
head-
get
back
shot
of
in
the
the
head,
head.
back
It is weird, yeah. And I was just going to point out, somebody in chat said it's not good to have to assume in relation to the wolf. I was saying, I wish I could have assumed more in this film. Inference is what I'm talking about. I feel like they made too many things over. One of the ones that Drinkers mentioned a couple of ones, but the one that I was thinking about was just stuff like, even as simply as, why do you want to hunt so much? I want to hunt so much because you all think that I can't hunt. It's like, wouldn't it have been great to be able to infer that from other actions and other events instead of her literally just explaining it to us?
Wouldn't it be great if there was some kind of past event that was driving that? Like maybe, I don't know, her father got killed on a hunt or something, and she
because she failed to.
I think it's just
I mean,
Yeah,
there
like,
was though.
something. Like
She
I
failed.
like, all we
She
get
failed to
with
hunt a
this
deer,
character-
a bird, and a rabbit at that point. So she had failed to hunt basically everything she'd gone after in the entire movie.
and then
Yeah, like,
easily
all we
kicks the
get-
shit out
well,
of
I
her
guess
the
that-
tribe.
Well, that's the
like,
thing. We don't need
it's
any.
like-
We can infer then that that's why she wants to, because she's so fucking bad at it, and everyone else isn't, and everyone else thinks she can't do it. That's basic enough. That's like a human thing. You want to be able to do the thing everyone says you can't do.
yeah,
I
prove
get it.
everybody wrong.
This, but this
just-
is this is the problem I have. I think, but they never really commit to this idea that like she's not good initially, because
No.
the first scene that you get with her is like she's hunting with her brother, and like they're both with bows and arrows, and he shoots down a hawk, I think. And it's like, okay, wow, he's demonstrated real skill here, and she was hesitant to take the shot. And then you find out, well, she was actually waiting for it to circle back so that she could shoot it, and it would be less of a walk to go get it. So it's like, okay, they have to establish
lazy cow.
Well, I wonder, because I think pretty persistently in the film there's a demonstration that her hesitancy is it's kind of both a problem and a benefit. It's a problem in that it means that she can't like fully commit to courses of action that will yield outcomes that are good for her, like with the mountain lion. But then it later ends up being an advantage because it just leads to her consistently being underestimated, including by the predator.
Modern movies do this a lot. They say one thing and show it, like they intended for you to know that she was actually amazing all the way along. She'd been training, she could lob the axe perfectly at every tree, she never missed. She made a rope axe, was instantly amazing at it, like she'd been using it her entire life. So you're supposed to know that she's amazing. She knows she's amazing, it's just everyone else doesn't. But then they show by her actions that actually she fails at everything she does. But you're still supposed to think she's amazing. And that happens throughout so many movies that they, the message they're trying to give you, and then they just show something else while telling you what they're trying to tell you.
Well, I guess, could you say that what you would want them, what they want you to feel is you like her because of her determination rather than her present capacity to do these things?
No, they put the dog with her to make you like her because she's unlikable.
I think what I want to see is, I think people instinctively root for the underdog who tries and fails at things. Yeah. So, like, it wouldn't hurt necessarily the movie or the character to have her fail at something like this, to hesitate to take a shot like that, not because she's apparently being more tactical than her brother or whatever, but just to straight up hesitate. Like maybe she doesn't have the killer instinct yet or whatever.
Well, so that's what I'm saying is maybe what she said isn't like what she actually believes.
I actually think that's what the scene was.
I don't think.
If you watch the scene again, she's drawing the bow. Why would she do that if she wasn't about to fire when she's claiming, "Oh, I'm waiting for it to circle back to the other side of the river before I shoot it"? I think she was telling fibs. And I think she was actually hesitating to shoot because she's not very good at this. And then her brother does it instantly. And so she says that to try and come across as though, hey.
In other films, MauLer, people have
seen that. It's just that, like, it would be very easy to overlook that and just make it look like, well, she actually just intended that to be that way. And I think perhaps some of that would come down to the delivery. Like a more skilled actress might have been able to show a little bit of uncertainty there, like I'm trying to cover for a bit of a fuck up on my part.
But why would you do that and not really hesitate against the bear at all? Just go balls deep for the bear.
What do you mean? She fucks up with the bear. Her bow string breaks.
Her bow, but if the bow wasn't broken, well, not broken, but if they, she didn't need to repair the bow, then she just would have been going after that bear.
Well, no, so what we see with the bear is that she draws her bow because she sees the bear, which is a reasonable thing to do. If the bear comes toward you, you should fire. But she doesn't fire, but then her bowstring breaks, which makes the sound. I think that's all fair.
But, no, because she's downwind, so the bear picks up a scent. She apparently recognizes that the bear's got a scent, and she should have been out of there. She should have been like, let's go.
Yeah, at one point, the bear chases the dog rather than killing her, which doesn't make any sense because she's right next to it and it decides to chase something else. And then she goes after it and fires another arrow at it. She's already seen the dog's long gone by this point, so the dog would have been safe. A bear's not catching a dog.
That whole scene is a bit weird in the sense
I thought it was weird. I don't know. I don't know enough about bears to know.
Would be so fucking determined to kill a person, like out of everything that they could be doing.
They just want food.
Well, I know, but like, are they really that hard up that they would climb a cliff to get to a person? Like when there's got to be easier.
No, it had a deer carcass. It was fed. It wouldn't have done anything. And then after it chased the dog ran off, and it was right next to her. If it was that hungry, it would have just killed her because it was right next to her in the first place. Like it would have gone for whatever's the easiest meat. They don't like hate people and go after them. They just want food.
You don't have to be smarter than the bear. You just have to be quicker.
Or quicker than your friend.
She seems
I'll
like
tell you. Can I just?
insistent that one arrow is going to make all the difference when it obviously wouldn't.
Nothing.
Yeah,
You're not going to kill
as
him.
you shouldn't expect much. It's an arrow versus a bear. Unless you're getting it through its brain, you're not going to have much luck.
No. I know we're kind of jumping around with our discussion here. There was a bit I was going to reference here for you. The ending where she returns to her camp with the predator head. She's victorious. She dumps it at their feet. She's given the spear to be like the head hunter of the camp, and basically takes charge of the situation. And it ends with her smiling. And I couldn't help but compare that to the ending of Predator, where Dutch is a broken man mentally.
I agree.
By the end, he has been through so much. He's watched all of his friends get horribly killed in front of him, and he is just wiped out as a person. And I just thought that is such an unrealistic reaction to what she's been through. She shouldn't be smiling. She shouldn't be triumphant. She should be like traumatized, particularly as a hunter gatherer who doesn't have any understanding of science or technology or any concept of like alien species from other worlds. Like this thing that materialized in front of her should be like a god or a demon or something from her point of view. Like this should be like the most like world-changing event that she's ever gone through. And it's just treated as like, yeah, I'm strong now, man. I'm a hunter, and I just thought that was a terrible way to end her character.
I think that if they were going to end with that, at the very least, there should have been more acknowledgement about the loss of life in the tribe, like her brother.
Absolutely, she should have had a speech about how she never would have gotten this far if not for her brother.
Yeah, like a big.
But they didn't care about the guys. Mm-hmm. She looked at all the women at the end. That she didn't look at a guy. There wasn't a single fucking guy.
I think it's a mistake to have a big focus on how she becomes the chieftain or whatever. Fuck that. Make it about how she never cared about that. She only cared about being a good hunter to prove that she could be, sort of thing.
Well, that's not it. Yeah, it's just the fact that she's now classified as a hunter. She doesn't become a chief or anything.
Oh, right, okay. Well, either way.
And then she looked at the little girl, and it's like, oh, now you've seen... That's literally the representation arc of now you've seen what you can be, now you can be it as well. People won't tell you that you can't do it in the future. People will now think that women can be hunters as well. That's why she's so happy. She doesn't care. The reason she's not upset about her brother, she doesn't care about him at all. It's like, oh, well, they're only men, they died. You know, I killed everyone else, that's fine. But now, the women can be hunters too.
You do see that a lot in what I would call poorly written stuff, where they forget what the characters care about because they're too busy writing about something else.
It's because the writers didn't care about that. The writers wanted this to be a story about how she became powerful.
But the thing is, she fundamentally doesn't really care about anything apart from being a hunter. Like, that's her only real motivation. Like, I know she goes back for the dog. And she expresses sadness when her brother gets killed, but I wouldn't really consider those character traits. They're just what any person would do in that situation, or at least what things that people would care about.
But they're momentary things. It's not as if, right? I mean, I thought the film would have been exponentially better if she wasn't allowed to hunt, period, because that's what she wouldn't be allowed to do. But she had been training with her brother in the forest. When her brother was training, he'd take her along. But she knew about herbs and she knew about medicine. And so when they all saw what was in the sky, because why did only she see this massive this massive spaceship entity coming through making tons of noise? It's not as if they would have been spread so far that they wouldn't have been at least alerted by the sound. And the whole tribe went in, and then her brother was just like, we need to bring Naru along, whatever she's called, because she's versed in herbs, and then they go as a whole tribe, and you got this Comanche bunch of hunters going after, and you don't have to have this stupid feminist messaging. You can have some sort of egalitarian business going on where she is, one of the tribe gets hurt, she's using a medicine to heal them. He's slowing them down a bit, then he gets picked off, but the chief, he goes in with them and he gets annihilated first. So her brother has to take over as head of the tribe and head of the hunting party, which causes a division. So some of them go with him, some of them go off on their own. They can get minced by the predator. She, of course, is in the other group, and they start getting picked off and all that sort of predator business. And then because of the training that she'd got from her brother and the stuff that he had done against the predator, it allows her to eventually finish it off. Just something that was more
I think
in
This just
line
sounds like a
with
very different movie, I think.
yeah,
Well,
because
in
this
terms
one
of
was
cool payoffs. Like it would have been really cool to have the brother go brawn mode and actually dodging and fighting the predator while she does a bunch of sneaky shit in the background and around the fight, activating traps, doing this, that, and the other.
I had said before, like it might have been interesting as well to have say her and the one, or at least one or two of the French hunters work together to take this thing down, to give an insight from their point of view, and rather than portray every single one of them as just a horrible.
There's one good one. There's one good one.
well, as a translator.
Do anything though. He just gives her the pistol and then dies.
Yeah, but he's friendly. He's nice. You know,
Oh,
like-
only because he needed her medicine
Yes.
skills.
I was curious. About
okay,
that
how are we rating them then? Because he's clearly nicer than the rest of them.
He is nicer than the rest of them, but then he doesn't have the opportunity to actually do anything.
That's true. Yeah.
Constructive because he loses his leg. I also don't really understand his death scene, because I was under the impression, and the movie straight up says this in a really clunky fashion. It's like the predator's not going to kill someone who's helpless.
It's confusing.
No, that's not it. The message, the thing is, the predator will kill people that it thinks can defend themselves, that it thinks is dangerous and a hunter. So all the men are, by default, it will kill you
Apart from
immediately,
her.
whether it is. Yeah, well, it underestimated her. It didn't see women as a hunter or as dangerous. And because it underestimated her, then it didn't.
I think
like,
it's
that was its downfall.
unfair because she was trapped in a bear trap when it found her. Like her leg was caught in this thing. She
Which would have snapped her ankle.
Yeah, but it was assessing her up to that point. He wasn't sure which way to go on it. But all of the men were immediately dangerous.
Well,
No, absolutely. But when you're walking off bear traps, it's nonsense. That thing would have snapped her fucking leg, her ankle, her shin.
Also, wait, I think it makes more sense than it seems with the guy with the French dude, because first of all, he was in the fight against the predator. The predator took his leg out, and so technically speaking, that fight isn't over. He's just been trying to escape the predator. The predator's finally. But the other thing about that scene, if you remember, the predator can't see him, and then he hears a scream below him.
Yeah.
So yeah, the predator reacts.
Not in the translator scene. On that one, he only comes from behind her, so he's been there all along, and she knows he's watching because she says something like, "You don't realize that I'm killing you. You don't realize I'm dangerous."
No, I'm not talking about that.
When he fires the gun and it clicks.
We're talking about.
You mean that? Yeah, the guy when he's on the ground.
When he steps on his leg, the guy screams, which I think is enough for Predator to be like, "What the fuck? Kill that! Whatever it is, it's about to attack me."
No, he realized he was alive.
It felt
the
like
moment he was alive, he was like dead.
No, I'm saying, we can't know. We literally cannot know why the Predator killed him. It could easily have been because the Predator was like a threat.
I mean, she does tell you later on, when she's talking to the translator in that scene, says, "You don't realize I'm killing you. Everyone underestimates me."
No, I'm
just
not
like
talking
the
about
Predator.
that.
No, but that is telling you what the Predator is doing. That is telling you how the Predator judges things. You're going back to previous films with what that Predator did. That I'll only kill you.
I'm not even doing that. I'm saying the guy screams at him. He stabs him straight away. There's no reason not to assume the Predator did that as a reactionary move.
I think in terms of screenwriting, this was just done to dispose of an inconvenient character who'd served.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah,
But,
sure.
We don't know how to
I didn't interpret that as the Predator executed a harmless person. I saw it as the Predator was like, "What the fuck? I can't even see anyone here, and something's screaming at me." But if you needed a backup reason, it would just be that guy is someone the Predator is still chasing. The Predator's aware of him. That guy did try to kill the Predator. He doesn't get to be spared now because he's lost a leg.
It's weird because. Sorry, go on.
No, go for it.
That's how it works. That's how it totally works.
The moment, she was in a trap, that ended the fight. The moment you're not a threat.
But for her, she never attacked the Predator.
It seems because you remember when he's fighting.
Seriously, she never attacks him up to that point.
He was going to fight her. He was chasing her across the field.
That's true. But
the guy next to her didn't.
Well, it depends.
Did the guy next to her? Because he immediately slaughtered.
He was part of the fight. The whole reason he got his leg chopped off is because he came.
No. When she runs into the field, there's a guy in the field already. I don't think he was part of the fight, and yet the Predator immediately slaughters him when he catches him.
Didn't he have aiming the bow and arrow at the
He had a bow, and he did.
She's got an axe
the bow.
Yeah, well, she has an axe, but she didn't throw it at the Predator or anything. She didn't even aim it at the Predator.
Well, he didn't fire the bow.
Well, he had the bow drawn, though, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
so he's getting ready to attack. Because it seems like what we see in the film, because I remember there's a part when he's fighting the French guys, that one guy, he stands in front of him with a gun, and then he shoots it, and then it ricochets and gets him in the head. Yeah. I think that, when you combine it with a bunch of other stuff you see in the film, is he won't attack you unless you attack first, and then it's like, okay, so this is a fight, or like he's only looking to get into fights with people who want to fight, are like
And I think
ready
there's
to
an
fight. and
aspect-
willing
There's
to
plenty
fight.
of times where he attacks first. Like he even
Well,
attacks
I
the
was going to
wolf
say,
first.
there's plenty of
yeah, but-
aspects. This Predator plays with people more so than anyone we've seen before. And a lot of people argue he's like a
He does,
juvenile
yeah.
or something. I'm not saying that myself, but he seems brutish to me compared to
'Cause
normal Predators.
I took that
Definitely, yeah.
I took that mass scene as like literally, you're so beneath me. I know this is gonna like he knew it would ricochet at him, so he wasn't like he
maybe.
was already killing the guy. It was just like, I'm gonna humiliate you.
You're
I've got to
probably
that is
probably
a
right,
cheap
but I think that's
fucking kill.
absurd that the Predator would know it would bounce into the guy's
Oh
head.
yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. Because there's no saying he was
When
gonna
you
hit him in the
talk, like-
face or anything. Like
Yeah,
what if
when
he
you're
hit him in the
talking
jaw?
about ricochets that are gonna like ricochet off a curved surface, like his
Yeah.
plate. Like, how the fuck can you possibly know what direction that's going? And also, the Predator has very limited understanding of projectile weaponry, like muskets. Like, so it would not really understand that that's going to ricochet in the way it did. It was just, it was like they saw that scene from like Iron Man when he escapes from the cave and like the dude tries to shoot him from behind and it just like ricochets off the helmet and kills them. It's
I
like,
think,
oh, that's cool. Let's just do that in this movie too. Like, it's just,
I imagine that
Well,
we
I'm
can-
willing to interpret it as the Predator was waiting for him to fire to then kill him, but he just lucked out and the bullet ricocheted into and killed him anyway.
Yeah.
But I mean, even then, I think it'd be safe to say that this Predator is arrogant, bordering on stupid. Well,
I think he's
bordering.
absolutely
He's,
stupid at several
yeah,
moments.
he makes
Beyond
beyond decisions.
compare at the end.
Yeah.
Like,
No, the-
yeah.
the-
Walks into
I
the bear
like-
trap.
Yeah, I wouldn't defend the
Yeah,
end
right,
fight at
yeah.
all.
Well, like,
Very
okay,
disappointed
like,
in that.
wait. So remember in the first Predator movie, like they set up claymores and stuff all around their position. They're going to
Yeah.
defend themselves for the night, and the Predator is able to see the tripwires that they've laid and able to like make its way through them in order to take out Blaine's body and like carry it away,
Mhm.
and also create a distraction so that it can do that. That is some intelligent shit right there. It's like, wow,
Agreed,
damn,
yeah.
this thing is fucking smart. The one that we're dealing with here is just like mentally deficient. It's like, I don't know, man. It's like the autism Predator from the Predator. It's like,
Do you
It
think
doesn't
that
even
might,
knew it was a
The
trap.
Predator in the Predator only lost because he got beaten by the giant CGI Predator that's impossible to kill. Do you remember? He's like
Yeah.
he's killed by that guy. For,
Yeah. Fucking
This is
lame.
the thing, right? And I know we're kind of like we're splitting hairs on some of this stuff, but like these are all like flaws, and like all these little flaws kind of gradually add up to like a flawed movie.
Yeah.
And it's weird because like people seem to have a real fucking defensive reaction to this film. It's like, no, it's great. You know, it's like the best one since the first one, and don't you dare criticize it. It's like, well, it's fine to like acknowledge that there's problems with it, but still say, well, you know, underneath it all, there's
Look,
a good film there. It's just like there's a lot of things that could have been done a little bit better.
Well, that's because the whole plot was going around a really unlikable, unprepared, unready protagonist and trying to almost dismiss the flaws and pass them on to other characters. Like when she jumps the gun, she goes out on her own to see what the whole ship business was, and then the rest of the tribe come after her. Her brother comes after with a party. Then we get the whole business with the lion, and he just have this pathetic moment where one of the Comanches just saying, "Oh, do you know what it's like to fight a bear? Do you know what it's like to have it just like be on you and rip you apart?" It's just like, it's so obvious what's going to happen now. And then yes, but the lion, sorry, the lion, not bear. And then the lion just goes, "What?" You know, grabs that guy, and then the next minute the lion's up in the tree, and she backs down, and she falls off the tree, and wakes up inside a tent.
You're making it sound better than it is. Honestly, like I did give it a rewatch, and I was surprised by what happens in that scene. The lion is literally stealthed right up until it kills the guy somehow.
Yes.
It makes zero
It
noise.
does the off-screen silent doesn't exist thing.
Kills him
It's Arya
immediately, rips him immediately.
It's really hard to fucking take that seriously. And then secondly, when she falls on there's like a whole field, but there's just this one rock, and her head hits the rock, and it's like, oh, fuck off. Hey, what happens?
Michael
then-
Schumacher might have to have words with her about that.
I was going to say,
But
like,
then on
if
top
you,
of that-
if you landed from that height on a rock of that fucking size, like your skull is going to explode like a
Yeah,
fucking...
not only that, the lion would have fucked her up if she
Yes.
gets knocked out.
That's just it. We wake up and she's suddenly in the teepee with the woman, and then we see that the brother killed her, killed the bear, killed the lion. Fuck my ass, mouth and tits. Killed the lion, but we don't see any of that. They don't give the brother any credit They don't give the males any credit with that kill whatsoever, and she's more frustrated that she didn't get
No.
involved in
Yeah,
the hunt.
Well, that's the problem, though. They do give him the credit for it because he gets like anointed as like the head hunter or something.
Yeah.
Like, you see
But
that
we already knew
afterwards.
that. We already knew that.
Well, I mean,
No, but then he-
but I
take on the line. We don't get to see the man do an actual fight and be like, "Oh, this is this guy's awesome. This guy's great." No, he's just we see the
gets to be
aftermath of
badass
it
with
all.
the Predator,
I think that he gets credit. I mean, he gets credit in the story, like in the tribe is celebrating him for beating the mountain lion. But I would also say it's because it's the parallel, right, to what happens later, where it's like she landed a blow that helped him beat the lion, and when they're fighting the predator, he's going to help her essentially by like sacrificing his life to help her then bring it home, right? Like this kind of parallel there.
But he dies because of his own code of ethics. He says, "This is my he talks to her early in the film and talks about there comes a time when you're a hunter that you have to say, I go here and I go no further. I don't back down. So it's either I go or they go." And then he goes to the point with the predator is just like, "This is my time. This is my time to go no further. I will go no further than this."
Well,
And so he's obviously gonna die in that exchange.
Yeah, because
The
he
thing
knew
is-
he was dead.
Yeah.
The Predator was standing right behind
Yeah,
him.
the predator was going to kill him. That's what he realized in that moment, was that the predator was after him, not her.
He has a
So
branch.
this is his
snap
opportunity.
behind him, yeah.
This is like,
But he got credit
basically-
for something which he even said later to her that I didn't deserve this. He says, "You killed it. I essentially finished up," which is why you didn't see the fight, because essentially I think
Well,
he
sure,
found
but-
it severely weakened and bleeding to death and probably just cut off its head off and brought it back. So
I
he
take
took
it-
credit with them that he shouldn't have done, essentially.
But if
think
that's
all
how
of
we
you guys-
oh, sorry.
I think all you guys saw this like coming. You know, that moment where she gets attacked by the lion on the tree, you could just see her like sink the spear in before she falls off the
Right,
cliff.
yeah.
I take it you all knew. It's like, yeah, she delivered a deadly blow to that thing, and he just finished it off later.
I wasn't sure.
I have
Well,
no-
the brother
I
tells her
didn't know.
that. Well, after all the credit scene, she walks off kind of angrily. Oh no, it's later on when they're tied to the rope. He actually says that you were the one that actually killed it, and you've always been able to do this. You've always been a great hunter. You've always been amazing.
And amazing. I'm gonna
Well, wait, I thought
validate
he
you.
literally
I'm gonna
tells her in the
validate you on
opening
the
that she's not good enough.
Yeah, but once they're about to die, he actually tells her how amazing she's always been, and he just didn't want her to
literally
do it.
about to die. Why would he tell her anything else?
Look,
And
Well, we have to assume that these people are telling
Well,
the truth. Otherwise,
they shouldn't have been having those
Well,
kind
no,
of conversations. They should have been working together in parallel to try and take down the predator.
What I'm suggesting is that if you're about to die, you're not going to say like, "It sucks to be you," because you're never going to be killing this thing.
in other movies, people have come to you and said, "Oh no, this is happening," and like there was about
tells
the
her to
books and
run.
stuff. I can't remember the exact example, but you're like, "Wouldn't have that been great if it was in the movie?" And you're doing exactly what they do
What are
to
you
you,
talking
which you
about?
didn't accept from
No,
them.
I
You
like
are.
the fact that he
you're
told her
assuming
she's-
that actually he's lying to her before she died. You have no reason to think that.
I never said he's lying. I said, why the fuck would he tell her, "You're useless. You'll never be able to kill this"?
Well, he would have
Bye."
to lie to her because he told her that she was the one that killed the lion and she was the one that deserved the credit, and he just.
Well, if it was realistic, he'd be telling her to run and get the fuck out of there.
I'm telling you what he told her, which is first of all that she's not good enough as a hunter. That's explicitly
Not
what
when-
he tells her.
not at the
the
end.
beginning. And then when you get to this part, the part where he dies, what exactly would you suggest he says there?
There's three like at the start, when they kill the hawk, he tells her something like, "Are you sure you want to do this?" Then
Yeah.
midway through, when she's like, "I want to go out and hunt whatever's more dangerous than a bear," that's when he turns around. Because at first he doesn't say that, but when she's like, "No, I'm going to go off on my own," that's when he tells her you're not good enough, and that's essentially him going, "I need to protect you, so I'm telling you, like, I'm trying to put you down so you don't go out in there." He's trying to save her life. That's how I took it. And then
Yeah.
at the end, he's like, "Oh no, actually, you were the one that killed the bear. You've always been worth it, and what I said before wasn't really true."
What I got from it was that he had injured
You're
the predator
lying.
significantly, like she had injured the lion, and so he said, "Bring it home," which
Yeah,
meaning
you'll
end it.
Yeah.
I'm done.
The
I'm
break
out,
home
you got
scene's a
me.
bit later. when they're tied to the
That's
pole.
what I
just
was
before
talking
she
about.
dies.
No. I think he says bring it home right before he gets killed by the predator.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the way that I would take the parallel is that it's a recognition of like both of their contributions. She wouldn't have been able to defend without him in the same
Yeah.
way that he wouldn't have been able to totally like, or maybe he would have been able to deal with the lion without her. But like, nevertheless, it's like they're both ultimately helping each other in their own way, or even if it's not like them
But
directly
he-
working together.
He literally speared the Predator through the fucking chest.
He did.
How is the Predator even alive?
Well, yeah, but what does that have to do with the point being made here about like what the characters believe in this moment and like what they're trying to say to each other and like in their
That's
relationship?
just kind of like a move. Well,
well, so I would agree that we've got like a lot of these problems with like you know the amount of damage that people take or how strong they are, but I guess it's important to try and consider like the implications that they have on characters and the decisions they make. Right, so like it's sometimes they affect them, and sometimes they can be taken in isolation. If you get what I mean.
I think if I was to sum up the problem here I have with this main character, right? They take a lot of steps in the right direction in that they do show her training. They do show her throwing her CGI axe around, which doesn't obey the laws of physics in the slightest.
She's Thor. Yeah.
Fine. You know, like, so there's some building blocks there. They show her making perhaps bad decisions early on and learning from them that she learns from the Predator. So like there is stuff there, but it's like they can never quite commit to this idea that you can have a flawed protagonist who makes mistakes early on and then has to overcome them later. So like what you might normally do in a story like this is have her go on a hunt with the guys and perhaps choke at the crucial moment. Like she has an opportunity to take a shot, something like that. She hesitates. And maybe someone gets injured, the prey gets away, whatever it might be. She's identified a problem with herself that she has to overcome in the course of her struggle throughout the story. They couldn't quite commit to that. So what you end up with here is like she, on the face of it, makes a mistake, falls off that tree, gets attacked by the cat. Her brother has to make the kill, but you find out later on, actually, you did kind of deal it a mortal injury, and it was just me who finished it off. You know, like the thing with the hawk right at the beginning. You guys, you know, you can argue that like she was just covering for herself. The way the scene's presented, it kind of makes it seem like she knew all along that it was going to circle back and that she should have just waited to take the shot.
Well,
it's always this idea that like she was kind of in charge of the situation and she actually did do the right thing. She never really made a mistake or had a problem. And it's just like, oh, if you just had the balls to go just that little bit further, you could have had a really interesting character arc.
But they had to dispatch the hunters with absolute ease.
Mm.
She just went through those hunters like nobody's like they were clowns.
Yeah, so
I'm not a fan of that
I think
scene.
that scene's not great. I guess it's just we have examples of her throughout the film, like making mistakes, and then we see like those mistakes get incorporated into her new strategies. Like when she fell into that sinkhole and then found a way out of it, and then used it. I mean, I don't like the final battle's got tons of problems, but like that's an example.
Can I just address that sinkhole for a moment? I actually thought they were gonna do something clever there. I thought the sinkhole was there. I thought when she was like struggling to find a way out, fine. I was, no problem with that. And then when she got the final bit and, she's like covered, I thought she was going to push her way to the end, like slump like she did. And then we were literally just going to get the Predator's foot like
Isn't that
come over her. And then she was going to realize that being coated in all of this mud prevented the Predator from seeing her. But
it's a plus and a negative, right? Because the writers were like, they'll expect us to do that payoff. We won't. Our payoff is going to involve that flower that makes you go to 0 body temperature, which, that's really hard to take seriously in any way, shape, or form, unfortunately.
I mean, I'm no doctor, right? But I'm pretty sure if your body temperature drops to like the temperature of like the surrounding rock, like you're not going to be able to move, and you're probably going to be technically dead.
And it's not going to coagulate your blood or keep your blood.
That was some fantasy
I think the
shit.
only way that we can make that work is if the Predator's heat vision thing is tweaked entirely to like human body temperatures, and if it sinks below like 1 degree, then you disappear, which is stupid.
This is something that I picked up on though, and I will give the film credit for this. Like we were talking about there's a decent amount of setup and payoff in this film.
Yes, there is. Yeah.
And I know it's almost like I'm giving credit for the most basic of things, but this is where we're at with films nowadays. It's like, okay, they did the simple writing 101. Great.
Yeah.
Well done.
So I guess what I would say about that is I agree there is setup and payoff and that it's not great, and that if like with tweaks and stuff it could have been made better. But I guess I can at least appreciate, compared to like when you compare it to something that is like absolute nonsense, like Multiverse of Madness, where it's entirely incoherent. Like when you can look at a film that at the very least has put some consideration into setup and payoff, and trying
but that's
to
what makes it
incorporate
even more
into...
frustrating. Is
I can understand the frustration.
They could have made this like a proper Comanche tribe, but they went for the feminist route. This film is just feminist bullshit.
Okay, wait. Could she have beaten it on her own without it being feminist bullshit?
Well, if you set up proper resourcefulness,
Right.
so maybe she uses some of the skills of the tribe. Maybe she uses some of the skills of her brother. But to realistically plant this on in the method that they did is comical. It's absolutely comical.
When they had to jump on the Predator, when they had to matrix around him, when they had to literally go toe to toe for a couple of seconds, I was like, no, you fucked this up.
The way to do it is to have her be like entirely stealthy, super duper, like using really smart tactics. Traps, setting up tons of traps.
Can't get anybody near that Predator.
Traps would be fine because even the French guys put up traps and the Predator fell for a couple of them.
Her neck should be like kindling to his hand. It should be nothing. Like,
especially when he punched a bear and like that basically killed him.
Exactly. That's to me where they got it all wrong. They fucked up the entire execution. Because I hate to reference it because it seems like a meme, but I mean, Ripley, she's a fucking badass in the end of Aliens on her own. She doesn't even get Hicks to go with her. But it's everything there follows along from everything she's learned in the film, and she's very careful. Every last shot.
Hicks is injured though.
That's what I'm saying. They justify it. She's on her own for a reason, and she does well for a reason. In this film, she's had really a whole
other film of understanding this creature, at least.
That's what I mean. What I'm trying to say is that they justify it. They did not do a good job of justifying it in this. I think it's possible. They just didn't do it.
I think it's even the training in this.
They have the story.
I don't even think they trained. Like, when you train, you're supposed to be bad at something and improve. She invents a brand new weapon, whether that's weapon, like, it is literally physically impossible, but if we just assume it is and it works how she does, the moment she pulls that back, she catches it straight away. I wanted to see, like, almost cut her head off and she dodges it. She's like, wow, this is actually really dangerous. She's just immediately awesome with it.
Well, hey, let's put it this way. If they'd shown us a montage of her miss, grab, grab, I'd still be annoyed. I'd be like,
it's physically impossible. I completely agree.
At least it's making an attempt.
Yeah, no, I completely agree, guys. When she literally grabbed it every time, I was like,
it's like fighting the Frenchman. She's immediately good at fighting people.
But the Frenchman is really stupid. Like, we don't.
All of these ideas are equally stupid. There's something which is impossible for her to do given the experience that she's had.
So,
do you know something which is impossible for her to do? Drag a 300-pound dead weight man to what location she did.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. Man, that would have been fucking hard for a girl.
That would have been hard, yeah.
It would have been virtually impossible.
Like, she took his leg off, so that's probably like 40 pounds gone right there.
Drinking, maybe she disassembled him and took him in pieces.
She Eddie Izzarded him.
He's like a Lego.
I wonder, because I think the high concept no worries. I think the high concept of just having the Predator appear at different times in human history and then contending with the people at the time, and then injecting like some sort of story that has to do. I mean, I think it's the one that often gets floated as like, what if it was in medieval times, and then you had like a group of knights having to contend with Predator, and then maybe it like incorporates aspects of their religious beliefs at the time and how they perceive him. Like the high concept
or Dark Ages.
Well, I guess like you've got Predator. If you just drop Predator into like many different places, you can have like a really cool story. And I think that the premise here, like, it's a strong premise, but I think the problem that they ran into was that you've made something difficult, which is that you've got a Predator going up against people with relatively primitive technology and a limited understanding of what this entity even is. And you need to incorporate that into the decisions that they make and the strategies that they employ to try and take it down. And like, they kind of try to do that, but like, they needed to push it further. They needed to,
I think there's better time periods. Like, imagine a Predator going up against an entire Roman legion, and it's just like you're against an army.
I think, this could have worked better if there was an element of like working together. I know like the movie touches on that a little bit with the brother kind of dealing the Predator an injury, and then that, she's able to then finish it off. But like, it would have been great to see like the two groups work together and pool their collective resources, their collective weapons technology.
I'd have liked to have seen it, yeah.
I would like to see it too, but I guess I'm also not opposed to like the story that they chose to tell, where it's it seems like the thematic through line that they were going for, and it's not like a hugely strong one, but it's present, is essentially the notion that you think of the Predator and you think of how like scary and intimidating, threatening that entity is, like relentlessly going out and hunting people. And then we look at the other side of the paradigm as like, what does it look like when somebody who is very much at a disadvantage against this entity, like what is their advantage? Like what is available to them to leverage against the Predator? Like resourcefulness, like perception, you know, like perceiving opportunities to take it down, or like leverage certain tools, or like resources that are available to them. That seems to be like the through line that we're going for. I think they could have pushed it a bit further, and it would have like done a lot of good for the film.
That's why I didn't like it going against the animals.
What they were able
because
to touch on with this was the idea of an actual hunter going up against another hunter, because you know the original Predator was very much soldiers trying to fight it as if it was like a military threat, and so failing very much until, you know,
in this case it's the long hunt, right? The pursuing of the entity, and like one person getting the upper hand over the other.
You had the Predator stealing the voices and recording it back, and you know, freaking them out and shit. There was no psychological element to this whatsoever.
I thought that was strange they didn't want to bring that back. It's perfect.
Naru's strength as a character was her ability to observe the Predator and understand its hunting techniques, like start to use that against it. So she starts to notice things. I'm going to say it, like the whole, you know, its helmet that can like fire these little like homing missiles that will track wherever it pointed at, and that's what ultimately kills it, was dumb as fuck. Like that's
what contradicts earlier in the movie, where the helmet's at one point the helmet's firing. This is when she notices it, and he's still using his weapon at someone that, in theory, he should know is going to miss because his helmet just got knocked off him when he's using it.
The impression I got was that the Predator was aware that it's still valid within 2 meters or something. Is that what he was trying to do? I don't know.
I think we have to. That's
instinctually, I want to agree with the Drinker. When I watched it, I was not happy with that payoff.
It's just odd that he wouldn't.
It was set up, quote unquote, but it wasn't something I found very meaningful. That last fight was so fucking disappointing.
It was. I
touched on this in my review, right? And I don't know if you guys agree, but like when I think about Dutch or Harrigan going up against the Predator, those guys like were like borderline dead by the end. Like they got put through the mill. Kind of felt like Naru just like breezed through it.
What about Billy?
Didn't really ever get hurt or anything, and it's just like, can't you make it a bit more difficult for her?
She had shit on the plot armor.
Billy did his last stand. Billy was a badass in this, and then he's just like, this thing's gonna fucking kill us all. So he decided to make a last stand, and it just went through him like a knife through butter, literally.
I know that there's I guess there's a kind of stigma against showing like female characters getting injured on screen, because you're going to get accused of like glamorizing violence against women. But it's like, well, if
don't
you're
put them
in,
you can't put them in the role if you can't do it.
Yes, you can't fucking handle it. Don't fucking do it.
I think it's a big writing challenge, and a lot of people take it on and they fail. That's just the reality of it. Trying to write, weaker people. I'm not even going to say women. You can have it for a man as well, I guess, but weaker people to be hyper successful. It's tough.
Well, it's
you
tough
can have breaking down at the end and crying and or anything. You know, no, this woman, she couldn't show any emotional weakness. She didn't show any physical weakness. She runs off bloody bear traps. She fucking Matrix the end fucking scenes, slidey, jumpy, cutty, whoosh.
I guess what's paradoxical about not showing those moments of vulnerability is that those moments of vulnerability make the character more endearing and come across as stronger, right? Like that you've gone through the... I've always really... There's a scene in... Have any of you guys watched 24?
Yeah.
No.
Some of it.
So there's a scene in that show at the end of one of the seasons where Jack Bauer, who's like, you know, over the course of a whole day having to contend with it's been a really intense day. Like he's had a lot of things he's had to deal with, a lot of things gone wrong, a lot of horrible things have happened. And at the end of it, after everything's been resolved, he like gets in his car and just starts breaking down and crying. And then he gets a phone call. It's like, oh, Jack, you there? Like you gotta come into like for debriefing. And then he's just like, yeah, I'm on my way. Like he like shrugs it off and then gets back to work. It's like those really Well, it's just
Ripley
Well, I think
cries in
kind of
Alien.
characters,
you know, look at something like Saving Private Ryan. You know, when Captain
Yeah.
Miller
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
his own, and like he keeps looking over his shoulder to make sure that no one can see him, and then he just absolutely breaks down crying.
Well,
Yeah, because
Mellish when he like it when they're in Normandy and like he finds like the Hitler Youth knife and then just starts crying, like thinking about just everything that's going on.
yeah,
Wade, like it's these moments of vulnerability are really important in terms of endearing people to characters.
It's
And I don't
because
think
they
it
don't
makes them
understand the
weaker.
difference. They don't understand the difference between stoicism and emotionlessness. So they will just
Yes.
make
Well,
people
yeah,
who have
like
no emotions.
it's good to see these. It's just meaningful to see somebody struggling with something emotionally and then push through anyway, right? Like that's a sign
yeah.
of strength.
yeah.
And I
These
think
are,
that it's
Yeah,
worthwhile
when a
to commit
brother
to that.
died, there should have been something there.
There should have been a whole scene of just
Massive,
her, like,
massively
reflecting on it.
there. And because he went, I mean, her brother went out like a badass.
he
Like
really
a complete
that's something
fucking
that
badass.
I'm very glad they did. They gave him a very good final scene.
I mean, every other
But
guy
no,
in the movie.
they have her
did.
go back to the village with the predator's head and just look at a little girl and then look at two women and then look at the old woman and just be like, yes, women, we
Yeah,
get
you know what?
things
We could've-
done.
But the sad part is like again
I mean,
the
the movie takes this. It takes steps in the right direction. It's like got the elements of like good character development. It just never quite commits to it. That's the
Well, it's just-
frustrating thing about it.
I was just thinking about like a potentially missed opportunity there. If you could have had to feel responsible for the brother's death by pursuing the predator so hard that dragged him into it and got him killed. You know, could have done
Moment
that.
of reflection. You just need that moment of reflection, and you
You
don't even
needed
need any
empathy.
dialogue. Just
You
let
needed somebody to project empathy so you could fucking project it back at them. There's not any point in this film that you can honestly say you have an empathetic reaction to this character. She's a fucking plank of wood the whole fucking film, barely changing her emotional disposition at all. And so how can you connect with this character when she doesn't even connect with a fucking brother? It's a brother that does all the spade work of the fucking sibling relationship that makes when he goes out like a badass at the end, you're just like, fuck, what a dude. But when she does a fucking matrixy slidey, grabbing fucking woogie, boogie, arm cut off with oogie, it just comes across as daft.
Yeah, I agree.
But whereas Ripley at the end of Alien, you're just like, fuck yeah, you know, get him into the airlock, get the fucking alien, get him out there, going, yeah. You're right, because Ripley is written like a human being, not like a fucking intersectional fucking wet dream. She has an array of emotions throughout the course of the whole film that makes you empathize with the character. Nothing makes you empathize with this main character.
Taking Ripley as a good example, like she is, she's such a good character because she's so relatable. Because her reactions to most of the things that happen are the kind of reactions that we would have. So she doesn't want to go out and be a hunter of these aliens. She doesn't want to take revenge. Her attitude is very much fuck that shit. I ain't going back out there. Like I'm happy just being a motor driver or whatever.
And even in Alien 2, she adopts a parental role when she comes across news.
Yeah, it's like it's only like a financial incentive plus like she's got like recurring nightmares, and it's basically like she needs closure on this thing that she agrees to go back out. But even then, she's like cautioning the Marines to be careful, to not like put themselves in danger going into the hive and all that stuff. But it's only her desire to protect other people that motivates her, and eventually her desire to rescue Newt, like that maternal kind of instinct.
Well, I appreciate the angle as well.
A maternal instinct which drives her. This character is driven by that one line throughout the whole film. Why do you hunt? Because you say that I can't. And she comes across as a dickhead. That's not a character that you relate to. That's not a character that you can empathize with. That's not a character that you can support. So when we get those moments with her brother, when her brother becomes relatable and starts to talk about the connection and hunting and this and that you actually like every time that he's on the screen, you're paying attention and you're rooting for him. And even though you know that he's going to get killed, fighting the hunter, fighting the predator, you still want him to go out like a badass, and he does. Whereas she doesn't do anything for you to connect.
This is something I picked up on in my my review.
I'm
right,
so drunk.
The original Predator, the characters in that had such personalities. They had such a, each person, you kind of understood exactly where they were coming from, who they were, and how they'd react to things. And watching them spark off each other and like approach this problem from different points of view was interesting. And as each one of them got killed, you really felt like the loss in the team. But with this movie, I didn't really feel that because I didn't have a good handle on who anyone was.
Okay,
no,
I can explain that.
all
It's
awesome.
because Aliens and Predator are two films that have like 11 out of 10 scripts. They are fucking phenomenal.
They're
This
very
film
good.
is very eh.
Yeah, but
Every one of the
be,
tribe, apart from the brother, is portrayed as an asshole. She
Yeah.
even gets into a fight with one of the hunters and beats him easily. She beats him so easily that another person has to sucker punch her to stop the conflict while he's like spitting teeth out and blood, and then the predator comes along and minces it all. That to me made her even more unlikable because they were purposely bringing down the tribe for you to try and elevate her. And that's the problem with all of this writing today with intersectional fucking writing, is the women are written so fucking poorly that it actually has to come at the cost of the rest of the cast to drag them down in an effort for you to go, well, look, he's horrible. And, so she's going to be instantly likable. That's why they put the fucking dog with her. That's why they made the rest of the tribe completely unlikable. That's why they barely gave anyone a fucking line apart from her and her brother, and then a couple of the hunters, and it didn't pay off. And so all the things, the tricks that they tried to do to make you like her, to me, came across as just more and more unlikable.
Something you mentioned earlier was I think
I would get my dick cut off.
Something that you mentioned earlier. Something that I think you mentioned earlier was that that when you were talking about how like Ripley's relatability was one of the things that makes her super endearing. I guess and how like in the case of Noah, it's much more, I guess, single-minded in terms of her goal. Do you think like do you think that premise isn't workable at all? Like that having the main character be this character who maybe doesn't have like super relatable goals, and her goal is like very focused.
Her goal is 2022.
Well, no, but
her
what
goal
I mean is like
1759, and that's what makes it so unrelatable.
Was this question for me or was it for Az?
Oh,
sorry,
well, I guess
sorry.
I guess it's for both of you. I guess like I guess do you see like the premise that they would have here of a character whose main motivation is she wants to prove that she can do this? Like, you think that's workable, or like that they should have ditched it and go for something else?
I think it's workable. I think what you need though is like a little bit more underpinning that motivation.
Yeah, so I think I agree with that.
Whether it's like a failed hunt in the past that resulted in people getting killed, or like some kind of hardship that she's endured that gives her a motivation to do that. Like, I think as it stands, it's just a little bit simplistic, and it's a little bit, like you say, kind of single-minded, and it smacks a little bit of just like projection from 2022. Just like we need to have a female character who wants to go against tradition and prove that she can do something that people don't think she can do. And it just seems a little bit contrived for a person of that time period. I don't think many people living back then would even have that mindset. So yeah, I think you just need a bit more than that. That's a good basis, I suppose.
So that's
Well,
so
couple
what I
things-
would say is go for it, More.
couple of things we've mentioned already in this stream between a lot of us, I think would really make the premise work, was adding the angle that she actually really does show a lot of care for the people in her tribe. Their first scene with that mountain lion, take the broader elements that actually happen, but let's just change all the sequence. Maybe the brother actually tells her one of the reasons you can't be a hunter is because you need to be strong enough to be able to take care of your fellow hunter. And maybe you just, that thing in 300 where he's like, you got to be able to lift your shield high enough for your fellow dude. Like maybe there's an equivalent of that with hunting, and that's something she says, no, I definitely can, I can. And then when time comes, she can't, and the guy dies for it, and the brother, saves her, but he's just permanently like disappointed in her, and it's like, you fucked up and you cost someone their life. Like that could have been our grounding opening scene, and she could feel guilt-ridden as fuck about it, and is desperate to try and prove that like it was just a mistake, it's not exactly who she is, and stuff like this. Adding like I just completely agree with the whole that ending scene with her and the head. They miscalculated so hard by making it about her, like so obsessively about her. It should have at least 60% of that scene should have been about not just her brother, even all of the tribe members that got killed. Yeah.
Well,
their husbands and brothers and stuff would have died. None of them
cared
either.
It didn't even seem like she wanted to end the Predator's life for that reason. It seemed like it was always only about the hunt, when it should have evolved past that, I think, at that point.
But I guess
even at the start, she's going around telling everyone, I want to do this hunt. And all they said is like, are you sure? Because this isn't like, are you sure you want to do this? At one point, she even goes, do I need your permission to go out and hunt? And he goes, no. So she can, at any point, she can go out and do this. And it's just, like, no one's stopping her at any... She's just going around whining at everyone. Why? It's like the people that go into a fight saying, hold me back, hold me back. It's very strange, that the entire movie. It's like she's a rebel without a cause. They don't, they don't think she can do it. But no one's stopping her. If she went out and hunted a lion at some point and came back with its head, it would have all been fine.
I also love the fact that she can just fuck off for, like, days on end, and like, everyone's cool with that. It's like, I'm pretty sure you're supposed to contribute to, like, the tribe. Like, that's the whole point of being there. But, like, she can just leave. It's like, I'm going to go on a, like, 2 or 3 day hunting expedition. I'll be back whenever I fucking feel like it. See you later, dicks. And, like, that's it. Everyone's cool with that. Weird. Like, it seems like her life isn't actually that bad. It's like, there's no restrictions on her hunting. There's no restrictions on her doing any of this stuff. It's just that people doubt her ability to actually do it. But, like, really, what's so bad about that? I don't know, man. It just
we all agree.
That's silent.
I guess
no, but that causes them to send people out to look for her, which causes 3
they keep magically finding people in a forest. That was weird. Like, at one point, she even goes down a river and she's just walking along and suddenly bumps into people. Like, it's like they've got GPS at this thing.
I think, I mentioned this, like, because, when she's been out, like, hiking, like, for days on end, like, she could have covered hundreds of square miles, and it's like, they just run right into her when she needs to, it's convenient. It's great. Plot convenience is a wonderful thing, I suppose.
Well, yeah, because I was gonna say, like, maybe they tracked it, but I was like, well, surely she'd be aware of not wanting to leave tracks, right? Isn't that something?
And she got
that...
washed downstream.
That she
traveled down river as well, so, like, you're not going to be able to track someone on a river.
Yeah.
There's a lot of convenience in the film for sure. Like, just lucky things that happen.
The problem is, like, we in the course of this discussion, like, we've outlined lots of tiny little things which by themselves don't mean much, but they all add together to, like, quite a flawed script.
Well, yeah, you start to wonder, are there any larger scenes that aren't connected by a stretch? And it's like,
Yeah. But at the same time, it means that you have something that can be salvaged with tweaks. Like, with tweaks, really. Like, if you just change a scene to add a couple, like, remove a little bit of dialogue, or add, like, a 1 or 2 scenes that give further acknowledgement of other characters. Like, it's all within reach. Which I guess is probably the reason why I like this film. Is, because it's like, you've got so much in reach with just, like, minor tweaks. To, like, elevate it to something that could be great. But I guess like, it's got a lot of problems for sure.
Yeah, and it's in, like, a much higher tier than the recent outings for Alien, Predator, Jurassic World stuff, and Terminator. As far as I'm concerned, it's a tier above the rest of them.
If I was to ask you gentlemen to rank them, right? So forget about the Aliens versus Predator movies. Let's just keep it strictly Predator. Like, where would you put this in the great scheme of Predator movies?
Who wants to go first?
Well, go clockwise again. Let's do the clockwise thing.
So the problem is I haven't seen Predators in forever.
Nor have I.
But what I remember about Predators is that the first half was fine, if not pretty enjoyable. But once Lawrence Fishburne jumps into the film, I felt like it fell the fuck apart. There was a couple little bits I think I liked as it progressed, though. What else we got? The Predator. No one. We all agree that's the worst one. There's no way that's changing. That's just abominable as a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Predator 2. I think I can't remember if we've talked about it before, Drinker, but I've always said that I think it's really solid and I really enjoy the first half. Not a huge fan of the film as soon as
said the first 2/3, MauLer, you liar.
well, no, because I recently rewatched it and I managed to look at the time code. It's when I've always thought of it as when Bill Paxton dies. That's where
Yeah.
Predator 2 falls off for me. Is there's loads of things that do you remember it's like 5 minutes after that the Predator is roaring on a tower and he gets struck by lightning? I thought that shit was so fucking goofy.
That wasn't great. I'm not gonna lie.
So-
that wasn't
And then there's some crazy bonkers shit. Like the Predator's ship is just below a hole below an apartment complex. I don't know what the fuck's going on there.
And they just kind of like, I guess the fight brought them there for some reason. And then when it was
the
just
fight-
odd.
the-
Like,
fight goes on for about 2 hours. Like it's
yeah. And then there's also just like weird stuff in the fight itself when they're in the freezer room or wherever it was. Like that fight was pretty stupid.
Yeah, like the Predator does a bunch of weird, stupid shit in that fight. Like he just jumps in the middle of all of them with the spear and starts like poking them one by one and it's just like, okay, it doesn't seem like the smartest. You know,
and also like the government guys like bring in like Donald Glover but they seem to hate him. Like they hated him before that point, but then they
to the point where they're going to disappear him. They threaten to like erase him.
Plan.
But then they just tell about everything. Yeah.
They let him leave when he like threatens, even though they think he's gonna fuck everything up. It's really odd.
So if I can make this clear, right? Predator, undisputed champion, and I don't think they'll ever release a Predator film that'll beat it. I'm not even trying to say that as like a biased fanboy. It's gonna be difficult to ever beat that fucking movie. The Predator, I'm not sure they'll ever make one worse than that. It's gonna be tough. So then in the middle, I gotta order Predators, Prey, and Predator 2. It's tough exactly to go on with the scaling I sort of use. I think I should discount Predators because I haven't seen it in so long. It doesn't really mean anything for me to rank it. So it's going to be between Prey and Predator 2. I think the first half of Predator 2 is good enough that it'll outweigh the downside of the second half for me and raise it just above what I think Prey would average out as. I think Prey's writing is pretty consistent throughout. In that it's not fantastic. It's like we're looking at 4 territory for me at this point. Meanwhile, Predator might average out to 5. So Predator 2, sorry. So I guess I rank Predator 2 just above Prey.
If I could jump in, I know this means going counterclockwise.
No,
so
that's no good.
That's counterclockwise.
Variety.
I kind of wanted to jump in on that, but like if I was to say take Predator as being like a 10 out of 10, like because I can't realistically think of many ways I could improve the script or anything. I would probably put Predator 2 at maybe a 7, and then beneath that I would probably have Predators and Prey at around about 5 or 6, and then the Predator I think would be down like 2 or 3.
I think my scale's similar to yours, but I'm way harsher. I've knocked all the numbers down by like 2, except for the original.
I'm right. Like I don't know. Like there's no emotion there because I was like a kid when I saw it, but I've got such a soft spot for Predator 2, and so it's like maybe colored my perception of films that came after it. But for all its flaws, like I still consider it a good, fun movie. So I mean, that's just my thinking, I suppose.
So it's Az next.
Yeah, we're going counterclockwise, so it's Az.
Well, the Alien versus Predator movies made me not give a shit about Predator. So I haven't even seen Predators or The Predator.
Oh my god.
So I've only seen Predator 1, Predator 2, Aliens versus Predator 1 and 2, and then Prey.
You watched Requiem? Why?
Why do that to yourself?
You're young, you do silly things.
I was a crazy man back then.
There was a lot of White Russians involved.
Yes. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. So I would put this out of my 3 Predator movies alone, I would put this below 2 because 2's not great by any stretch of the imagination, but it's fun. You know, it's kind of fun and goofy, and it has all this crazy gang shit, and you know, all these like fucking Boosie, for fuck's sake. You know, when you got Boosie involved, then anything can happen.
You say Boosie or
Busey
Busey?
as well. Do you want to know what I believe? Shit.
Shit happens. But yeah, so I mean, at least I can watch. I've got no intention of watching this again. There's nothing in Prey that has hooked me enough to say, oh yes, you know, I'll watch this again. Whereas I will watch Predator 2 again. So I think that's a distinguishing factor there. And not this and Prey, by the way, can't even hold a candle to Predator. That film is like one of the best fucking sci-fi / horror. It's a mixture of genres. You know, it's like one of the best sci-fi / horror movies there's ever been, period. Which is a lofty expectation. So I'd say Predator 2, Prey. With two to place if I ever watch them.
I can already tell you where you place The Predator. Don't ever fucking watch that piece of shit.
Yeah, you'll be.
Is that the one with Olivia Munn? Though it's got Olivia Munn.
It is, yeah.
Do you know what like that film is about? Like what it does?
I know it's about autism. Like it's hunting autism.
Yeah, right at the end. Yeah, yep.
It's Shane Black, isn't it?
It's a the moment they reveal that, it's a comedy from that point onwards.
And I don't know what it is. Shane Black, when he's doing his own thing, it's good. Like I like the Nice Guys. That's a cool movie. But like Iron Man 3 and The Predator, Jesus.
They're so proud of it
Hey,
as well.
as like
there's only one true
I think Iron Man 3 is okay.
If you like Iron Man 3, that's one thing. That's cool. That's okay. That's
just don't claim it's good in front of me.
That's all.
Comparative to what we're getting now, it's fucking.
Yeah. I'd say that the bar has thoroughly been lowered by Phase 4. Like for what
that's what I think this is with this Prey movie. It's just I think there's a level of mediocrity which people have latched onto and been like, it wasn't.
I don't understand
shit.
for a second. People saying it's a masterpiece are crazy. I've said this before.
But I mean, latching onto something that's mediocre in a landscape where a lot of the big mainstream stuff that's coming out is like a disaster. You know, it's like, man, I'll take whatever I can get. You know,
I mean, there's literally from The Predators. There's a line which says, "Autism is the next level of human evolution."
Well, they clearly have been on Reddit.
Dude, that was Olivia Munn that said that, right?
Yeah. What Disparu, like when it comes to ranking your Predator movies, where would you put Prey in the great scheme of things?
Well, for me, I actually prefer 2 to 1, which could just be I am biased towards the city environments over. Well, no, city environments over jungles is. I much prefer that. I prefer that in games and everything else. Yeah. So I'm going to bias towards that. The third one I haven't seen in ages. Now I know I didn't like it at the time, but given the age it was made, I've been watching a lot of movies I thought were terrible back then. That's just compared to what we have now. They come across as masterpieces, so I can't rank that, but I have a feeling I'd rank it a lot higher, so I'm leaving that one out. Out of the two, though, the thing is, The Predators, if you take up to the whole point with the autism thing, from which it was awful afterwards, I kind of prefer that to Prey. Like, that didn't, like, the entire story... No. The entire story of that is the guy is a good father. The guy is not a horrible person. He actually goes around, he protects his kid. Everything he does that entire movie is done about protecting his kid. He will sacrifice his life to protect that thing. And in this, you've got a woman who doesn't even care about her own relatives. So the main character is far more likable. The main story is far better. The action sequences and the bit surrounding the Predator and the story of the Predator and the damage it does to the character of the Predator, I agree with you. It's far worse. But from a story perspective, I would rather watch that than this movie. So I'm torn between the two. I can see why everyone hates it because it does destroy the character of the Predator, especially when they retcon everything else. I know why you hate it.
So
but the characters I prefer from that movie.
Do you remember the scene at the end of The Predator? It was like in the final. I know you said the final action scene is like fucking awful.
Oh yeah, everything after they go. This is the guy I'm after. I agree with you. It's far worse than anything in Prey. Everything after that point, but up until that point, like I enjoyed more of that movie than I enjoyed of Prey.
I thought it was an abomination.
Oh, no, I get it.
Yeah,
I
like,
absolutely get it.
I
From the
really
destruction of
get
the Predator, like, I'm agreeing with you, but the characters I enjoyed. I despise the characters in this, except her brother.
I
So-
remember really disliking the characters in the Predator.
I found them so
No,
fucking
I like the whole.
obnoxious.
No, maybe it's because I literally watched it like a week ago. So I've gone from the point of view of movies like this. Like, the last few years have just been crapping on men in every single film. There hasn't been a good father in every single film. So I watched that film, and it was it gave us characters which I haven't seen in ages. So maybe it's just novelty.
The
Maybe I
novelty?
just liked it. Yeah, I'm not saying it's a better movie. I'm saying, given the current period and the time I watched it compared to everything I'm getting at the moment. Like, I've been going back and watching a lot of older films, and things I didn't like, I like now just because it's compared to what we're getting now. And the thing that really got me about that movie was the fact that he was sacrificing everything for his kid. He was a good father, and we just don't get that in entertainment now.
That's fair.
Alrighty.
Fringy, what about you?
So Predator is the best by a country mile. It's probably never going to change. I think the Predator is the worst one. And I haven't seen Predators in a long time either, so I'm not sure if I'd even. So yeah, it's a toss up between Predator 2 and Prey. I think I agree with MauLer that Prey is more consistent in terms of its quality, which is like very middling. Whereas I do think that Predator 2 has like a strong opening. I really enjoyed the first half of the movie, but then it starts to kind of deteriorate after that. I probably will put. I think that there's aspects of Predator 2 that are like strong enough that I would put it above Prey. So it'd be like, yeah, Predator 2, and then pretty close by Prey, and then much further down the Predator.
That's fair. No, that's a good start. Like, we've kind of got everyone's opinion. It feels like we're not too far apart, generally, in our perception of this movie. So I guess that's good.
I think I'm more frustrated with it because I think it had a lot of promise. I actually think the whole film should have been in Comanche.
There is a cut of that.
There is
I
a
think
cut. I think it's a
they were
disdub, though.
From what I understand, they
watched,
were
like,
considering filming it in Comanche, but then they changed their mind, which I think it would have been cooler if they committed.
Yeah,
because for all the how much like the brother was good and stuff, they were speaking so 2022. And
my guess is that they did like that they figured it would probably be better for like marketing, and they might not be wrong, which is kind of lame. That like there'd be a lot of people who would be opposed to watching a film that's entirely subtitles.
Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, stuff like that.
Well, of course, right? Like there's no reason not to, really, at least artistically.
Yeah, but it depends. If you're doing an average movie and you're making them read it, that's going to be even worse. Like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm operating off the assumption of the change of the story as well. But
I am against subtitles in a lot because I don't want to. Like, my issue is if I focus on subtitles, I can't focus on the movie. Like, things like that. I'd rather watch the movie than.
I've got to disagree on that, and I think Prey is a good example of that. I think it would have undone a lot of the problems that we've had with like the delivery, the dialogue, and stuff. Like when it's written down,
if you couldn't understand them.
Well, when you get like subtitles, you understand that it's like a rough approximation of what's actually being said. You know, you get that it's not a direct translation, but it has to be delivered by an actor. Like, okay, it's going to be as cringy as they can deliver it.
And this film is less dialogue heavy than you typically see in like mainstream films anyway. So I'm not sure how much, but again, I still think like the film would have benefited from just pulling back a little bit. Like I wish they showed more restraint with the Predator earlier on and build. Like I think they should have made the film almost as if like whoever they were making it for, didn't even know what Predator was. And so, like, when the reveal comes, it would be, like the same perspective as main character.
Talk about flaws of the original, right? This isn't what I would call a flaw. It's just a preference. I wish they didn't show us the ship in the original Predator. Because, fuck, that film is so fucking cool when you get, like, all these little clues, and you're just like, what in the world is happening? Especially if you're being, like I was at the time. My dad was showing me a bunch of action films. I remember I watched Commando and Predator pretty much back to back. And Predator gives you all the regular stuff. You're just like, yeah, this is it. This is what I look for. Then you're just
Do
like,
you think-
wait, what the fuck's going on? What happened to my action movie? Oh god!
Terminator 2, wasn't Terminator 2 marketed so that before the film came out, nobody knew whether Arnie or the T-1000, like, they didn't know who was going to be the bad guy?
Oh no, the trailer tells you everything. The trailer's basically the
Oh,
entire
or am
story.
I mixing? I just feel like I remember that it seems like I get the impression that the reason why Predator was put so much to the forefront is because of the intellectual property. It's easier for marketing and better, and like you make more money when you do that, and it comes at the expense of decisions that would be better for the story that you're trying to tell. Like that there's no restraint anymore. You got to put everything front and center, put all your cards on the table to make sure that people come watch your film.
Yeah, what's interesting about T2 is when you watch it without any meta information, it doesn't give it away straight away. It lets you.
Yes,
wonder.
that right. Yeah, that's
wondering. But it brings it down to that point where they're both in the hallway, and it's like, well,
exactly.
Oh,
It's
it's
fucking
so
amazing.
fucking good, man.
That's the thing. The trailer actually has that moment in it. It has
Right,
the reveal in
right.
the trailer itself. Because I
That's-
remember looking
yeah.
at it because I was comparing that and Rings of Power, where Rings of Power is just people staring at the sky, and then you got Terminator 2, which is just the entire movie in trailer form.
just before we move on, I just wanted to bring to your attention the Mary Sue, that bastion of like fine impartial journalism,
no.
decided to do an article about Prey, and they mentioned me and my review. So I won't bore you with all of it, but I'll see if I can share my screen so just so you can see this little bit. All right, hold on. So
The tension.
is all right. There you go. Just let me
Bearing
know.
in mind, literally tens of people read these articles.
I know.
Tens of
literally.
people.
So this is an article where it says, "Stop calling women who trained for years Mary Sue in media." Fair play. Okay.
How long
Yeah.
did she train with that axe? Like half an hour or something?
Easily.
Well, with the rope part of it, like 10 minutes. I
Yeah,
couldn't
she
tell.
invented it and then went out and used it.
So they go through quite a long spiel about how like women get judged more harshly than men when it comes to like their physical abilities in movies, because
I wonder why.
Did they really title the chapter "Less Sigh"? Jesus.
Look, the French makes it more artistic.
Oh my God.
But I will, however, draw your attention to this little paragraph where they mention my review, where they say, a video dropped by the YouTube reviewer, The Critical Drinker, sounds like a total asshole. He ignores important information the film gives you as to why Naru is strong enough to take on the Predator, even though she only weighs 100 pounds, and why she survives. Some of the why are skills like knowing medicine and realizing the Predator can sense body temperature and using that to her advantage. Because I didn't feel the need to fucking mention every single thing that happens at every point in the movie, but never mind. Anyway, they also mention here that the Critical Drinker doesn't say in his video, he does say in his video that she's not a Mary Sue, despite completely missing the point of multiple scenes, and at one point getting mad that the French colonizers are depicted as gross, which they are. But then there are YouTubers like Tyrone Magnus who called Naru a Mary Sue from the jump. So basically,
They just wanted to shit on you.
They wanted to shit on
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
even
They
though
just don't like you.
It's like he disagrees with this other YouTuber, but we're going to drag him in with it as well.
It really is like the article got written before you even made a video, and it's like, oh shit, he didn't say what we said he was going to say.
And I actually forgot that when that guy is like he's not there for the heat vision because of the medicine, she does actually say out loud to herself, "Oh, the medicine's lowered his body temperature."
Yeah,
It's like,
we
what are you doing?
we can't help but have things just in case you didn't get it. I'm so
We
sick
can't
of that.
think in
like-
our heads.
Yeah, this is the thing, man. Nobody's missing that. Everyone gets the point the
But
film's
the
trying to
problem
make.
is
and
that
that's
there was
kind of the
probably
problem.
somebody in a test screening who was like, I didn't understand
I
what,
don't
like,
get it.
how the Predator didn't see him.
Oh well, they said the dog was liked in the test screening, so they
So they
added
put
more of
in.
him.
Of course,
Of course he
everybody
was.
likes
Of
dogs.
course he was.
The dog
Most
knows.
likable character in the film.
The person
You
who
like
doesn't
dogs.
speak.
I like, by the way, in that
I-
little section, Drinker said, like, yeah, you didn't realize that they explained how she. It's like, how did they explain how she survived getting grabbed by the throat by a predator? Did she train
No.
in?
They
that?
should
I don't
not
know.
have shown the Predator punch that bear. They really shouldn't have. It's the same as when Wong cut off
Why would
that
you ever
dude's
let the
arm.
predator grab her? As soon as he grabs her, so it's like Terminators. They cannot grab the character. 'cause
Well, they
will
throw,
crush
right?
you.
It's the meme. The meme is that you always throw
always
them
get
instead of
thrown,
just
yeah.
snapping their neck or like crushing their, yeah.
By the way, these people have been. I'm not kissing ass because I've known Drinker for a good couple of years now. But the reason why people are coming after the Drinker now It's because he's right. And that's what they hate about the drinker. They hate about his videos.
I'm not going to deny he's correct, but I'm pretty sure it's because of how many people like him. They want that.
Well, no,
they want people
but they
like
like
him.
him. They like him because he's correct.
Well, yeah.
Because when people come to watch a drinkers, you don't get 1.3 million subscribers by just fucking flicking your bean. Particularly when
you could.
Well, you could. Well, I guess actually you could if you're OnlyFans. But when you're on YouTube and you're actually creating constructive criticism, they hate it because Mr. Jordan is fair. Whenever you do something, you are always fair. Rightly or wrongly, you have your own opinion. If it differs from mine, MauLer's, whoever, you don't care because you have your own specific value and you quantify it as well. So you qualify it, you quantify it, you put it up there, and that's why your channel's fucking exploded because people are like, yeah, I get the reasoning, I get that. And obviously it's done in an entertaining way. Things like the Mary Sue, the ankle biters on Twitter, that's what eats them up. That's what eats them up because they don't actually have any valid criticism of any of your work. And so they use their emotions to attack. They use their emotions and their own opinion to attack. Mary Sue just putting that in was just to have a dig for no reason. Ankle biters on Twitter is to have a dig for no reason.
What is ankle bite? What is ankle bite?
Ankle biters are people that don't contribute anything other than going after people. It's a nicer term for rat fucker.
I thought you say bottom feeder.
No, rat fucker, because rat fucker, all rat fuckers do is create
Fuck rats.
The terminology rat fucker is just to basically shit on someone.
Right.
Is to create as much disinformation, create as much sort of hostility around them, and just to shit on them. And that's all this is. Jealousy. This is the green-eyed monster that eats it.
Hey, look, all right, green, all right? Look,
racism.
It has nothing to do with green, all right?
Yeah, nothing wrong with green.
And what I will say to all your points, this isn't to take away from Drinker whatsoever, but I'd like to think the whole reason we all hang out with each other
is to take away from Drinker.
We're all...
the book kind of removed the first bit.
I think we're all honest. I like that. I think that's what connects a lot of us together. I wouldn't want to hang out with you guys if I felt like you paid for your opinions or you had to toe a line. I reckon that you can even be too honest sometimes, and it upsets me, but in the best way.
Like what
I think with drink, when it comes to we're talking about you like you're fucking dead. When it comes to Drinker though, you know, he puts it in such a way and in such an entertaining way, but even in the entertaining way, it's so succinct and qualified that it angers people like the Mary Sue that, like I said, literally have tens of people reading their schlock. You know, so I think that's just more power to you, dude. I really do.
You're absolutely right. What the fuck was their problem with you? They couldn't even figure out a problem. They just said,
it was just like.
I mean, he didn't say what I wanted to say, and he didn't call her a Mary Sue.
But this guy did.
There are some. I was just going to say quickly, there are some forms of damage she deals to the Predator that I would accept, but like most of it is bullshit as far as I'm concerned. Like she shouldn't be able to pull off most of it. So like I'm assuming you felt similarly, and they're like, didn't you see the parts where she trained? It's just like I don't think that explains it. I'm sorry.
That's just moving the problem back to an earlier point in the movie. It doesn't actually fix it. You know?
I don't think that her throwing that axe and catching it at all explains how she can fucking survive being throat punched by that thing almost. You know what I mean?
So many times.
Yeah.
The moment she jumps on his back, she's dead. Because he just grabs it and like we would have just smashed her into the ground and killed her.
Boosh, yeah.
He just reached over and stabbed her through with his claws.
This all just factors into the same thing that I suppose we could all pick apart is like, you know, when you're writing a movie like this and you've got a female protagonist, there's limits to what you can do to her, and there's you know restrictions on you know how much injury she can take and all that sort of thing. But you also have to show her being physically capable of taking on a predator like this, despite being fairly small and not all that strong. That's the problem.
In this case,
you can't really overcome in writing like this.
I think in
You
this
have to
case it
outwit
kind of
him.
applies to everybody. It's the bear getting punched. Like I don't know that any human really like fights against this predator and is like in a fist fight or a brawl. Like it's always got to be using their brains.
Yeah, the
And I mean,
closest
that's-
you'll
I
get is what we
thought I
see.
thought the predator fighting the bear was the most fun thing in the film.
No, yeah, I think
it was
Fringy's just saying
fun.
that
It's
if
just
you
that
like bear
when you
hugging
show
him.
up, if he
you
can
can do
punch
that-
a bear and kill it, he can punch any human, like
Yeah, yeah,
regardless of
any
whether they're a
human.
man or
You can
woman,
dodge
like, he
a wrench. You can dodge a dodgeball.
can-
Duck, dip, dive, duck, dodge.
Also, yeah, true. Arnie can't even survive going toe to toe with it.
Yeah,
That was
it's
obviously a
always
big
about
thing.
outsmarting.
Come
the predator.
on,
What
come
amazing
on,
point,
come
right?
on.
Ian Arnold, who you normally saw as this fucking invincible god on screen,
Subversion.
getting owned like a little bitch by the predator because he was like half its size. That had impact.
Hell
That
yeah.
was awesome. This time
Yeah, this is
around,
why-
you kind of expected it anyway because it's like she's not big to begin with.
I thought she was going to come back into the Comanche camp at the end, like holding a fucking pride flag behind her as well, like that. Just walking in, yeah, fucking victory, and then I'm drunk.
You
They
are-
could have just
And then
walked
he
back into
drinks
camp
more.
and just collapsed. And it was just like, I'm done.
I was
But,
going to say as well because I know we've obviously covered Prey to a big
Just a
extent
little
here.
bit.
And this isn't EFAP, so we don't go on for 12 hours.
Yeah. Trying to rip us off or what?
Yeah. I know that there has been cancellations afoot at Warner Brothers or Warner Discovery now. I have to call them by their proper name. Because we obviously all heard about Batgirl getting cancelled. What a shame. The world
Aw.
has lost.
Pour one out.
But yeah, there's
From a homo.
Dicks out for that one.
Everyone wanted to see that movie more when it got cancelled, let's be honest. Like, no
Oh,
one
yeah,
did before it was
hell
cancelled.
yeah.
Just
Well,
like,
no, it's the
when-
only time anyone's wanted to see that film is when it got cancelled.
It's just Cartman Land. Like, yeah, this is the best theme park in the world, and you can't come, especially Stan and Kyle. Like, yeah, the more you tell people they can't watch something, the more they want to.
But no, what's interesting though is like this is just the tip of the iceberg in terms of the things that they've shit canned. I think it ultimately comes to something like $780 million worth of movies and TV shows that they have cancelled in terms of upcoming projects.
Yeah. He wanted to save $2 billion, so he can take them all as tax write-offs and just claim it's a saving.
It's an interesting one because even something like Batgirl, like, okay, they've lost $90 million, which is actually a tax write-off because it's an expense that doesn't have any like incomings to recoup it. But anyway, they would have had to expend another $100 million advertising that for a movie that was never going to make back that money anyway.
Wow, it's something people don't talk about a lot with like companies, but opportunity cost is such a huge part of like the decisions that these companies make. You don't have infinite money. You have limited time. You have limited resources. Of course, I've got a lot, but it's still finite. You need to make decisions about what projects you're going to make, how much money they need, and if you're going to put money into that, how could you use that money elsewhere to make more money? That's these are the decisions they're making. So like, it's not a sure thing that you can just like, whoa, you spent a lot of money, so you'd release Batgirl and recoup it. It's like, maybe not. Maybe it's not worth it. Who knows?
Well,
We don't know
especially if it
anymore.
damages the brand.
Yeah.
They could do another Batgirl film now, and it's not damaged by that, and people may go and see it just because of, everyone thinks this one was awful and want to see if it's changed.
It was going on HBO Max. This wasn't getting a cinematic release either.
Well,
No, it was.
So-
It was originally. That was the plan. It was going to get a
I think-
cinematic release.
What a tumultuous
I
journey
think
that film.
it's because it just seems like DC or like Warner Brothers can't make up their
Can't
mind on
catch a
what they're
break.
doing. They definitely can't catch a break, that's for sure. But like they just can't make up their mind on what they want this universe to be.
I've got the solution. Jared Leto Joker solo movie crossover with Morbius.
He plays two characters. You could do the marketing like
Joking time.
It's joking time, yeah.
Jared Leto with Morbius. Jared Leto is
They team up to take out Amber Heard's mirror. So that,
Wow.
yeah, and let's see how that goes.
The
Call it
best thing
With Tommy
Injustice
Wiseau as the commander, the grizzled commander.
It's like the best I can equate DC on film to. It's like the world's greatest sprinter who keeps breaking his own legs before like the fucking 100.
Like he
Oscar,
takes his
but
first
Oscar
step
Pistorius.
in Disney.
Like
His knee just
deliberately,
collapses.
like he's literally grabbing his legs and breaking them before he
Or, like,
starts up the run.
As he's about to run, he can see a saw blade just like a few meters ahead of him, and he just charges straight into it anyway. I can jump over it. I've got legs. Oh wait, no, I don't.
And then you got Marvel, who are like winning by hideously releasing terrible projects next to them.
But
Like, good
You
God.
gotta wonder though, like, are they happy with Love and Thunder's performance? Like, surely they're not.
No.
That as you said
Have
the
you-
other day, like, on Twitter, that's topping out at like 700 million or something.
Which is less than
It's,
Ragnarok.
today it just crawled over 700 million worldwide.
fucking
it's-
disastrous.
It's going to be lucky to hit 750.
I think we
It's-
can all agree, though, that's still way more money than it ever should have made. That
Of
fucking
course.
abomination
Yeah.
didn't deserve any money.
I guess.
Yeah, but this is one of your few remaining
Yeah.
big hitters.
He'll never hit as big as Cap or Iron Man, and he certainly can't if you don't make these his movies. Nobody's gonna want to fucking see these things if this is what they are.
I think.
Did you see the casting for Iron?
What's that? Oh,
casting-
actually, I
Ironheart.
heard stuff about Ironheart because MauLer, something you mentioned that really upsets you about Iron Man 3 is that that we never got to see Iron Man contend with magic. Well, your wish has been granted because apparently in Ironheart, that's what's
Ironheart's
going to
gonna
be the
fight
case.
Man,
Ironheart
okay.
versus magic.
Yeah,
mean,
but
shit.
we got
With a lot of things, right? I don't care all that much. Like with She-Hulk, okay, she's supplanting the Hulk. I don't give a fuck about him. Like
I'm
Bruce
so
Banner.
scared for Daredevil, man. I'm so worried about what they're going to do. to
I'm
my
sure
boy.
they tell her she's amazing.
Yeah,
should
Iron
be.
Man is like my boy. Like that's the one character I really care about, and it's like I know that they're gonna
Shit all over him.
they're gonna shit all over him, and they're gonna
Yep.
work to destroy his legacy and be like, well, Tony was a misogynist, and he slept with women all the time, and
Good boy.
And he didn't support the Avengers financially. He let them
He
all.
didn't because he just let them all toil in poverty.
no more. He just didn't. He didn't support the black.
They don't get to do it because in Age of Ultron, there's a line where he says, "I pay for everything." Like,
Yes,
right.
you don't get to change it, but you will anyway because
You have the story you want to tell and you don't care about
Yeah.
like what was established before.
Well,
But I guess that's the thing,
Ironheart
is
has cast the winner
Yeah,
of RuPaul's Drag Race and a female Australian girl who goes by they/he pronouns with hairy armpits.
Okay.
Like, I don't even like. I never know if anyone's joking anymore. That's the problem.
No, this is true. This is God's honest.
That sounds like something Twitter would like come up like. If you go on the Rings of Power and look at the comments, that's the kind of level of comments you've got there.
Ironheart's gonna be great. I can't wait.
What?
But the thing is with DC, like, if you've got a money man in charge, there's sort of the great universe balances. If you've got really good stuff coming out, they will ruin it because they won't let you do what you want to do. They want to do it the cheapest way possible, the most efficient. If you're coming out with trash, though, they will also balance it the other way. Like, you can't release this. This is awful and just a waste of money. And so I'm all for it, just for the fact that at least he's getting rid of awful stuff. He's not going to make anything amazing, but he's not going to let them release trash. And at the moment, average is an improvement.
Well,
I
I
guess,
was-
This is MCU, so you know.
Well, I guess we're talking
Yeah,
about Warner Brothers, right? With
Zaslav,
DC Zaslav, the new guy
good.
who's
Yeah.
I was going to say, in the terms of the list of things that have been cancelled as a result of like these cuts, like by Zaslav. So you've got Batgirl, obviously. You've got Supergirl, which is
Strange
also
Adventures.
block. Justice League Dark. You've got the Superman reboot that was going to give us Black Superman. what a shame. You got the Green Lantern series. You've got Legends of Tomorrow, and you got the Flash series, but also potentially the Flash with Ezra Miller.
Did you see the thing that was discussed today? Apparently, there's 3 options that Warner Brothers are considering. One of them is Ezra Miller comes out and explains what's been going on, and then does limited press. The second one is they cut Ezra Miller out, and then recast the character. And the third one is they cancel it.
Well,
But that's
Fringy,
like a $200 million movie.
there's been some new news today.
Wait, what's the new news?
The Vermont police haven't just charged him with felony burglary. He's now being questioned about the whereabouts of a woman and her 3 children.
Jesus
The
Christ.
story of Ezra Miller is
If-
insane.
Yeah, if that stuff goes the worst direction possible, then I could see them canceling the movie.
Oh.
Like,
I
He'd
could
do better making a
or
movie
at
about his
least,
life. His life.
yeah, they
make a that would pay better. Yeah, this is gonna be a fucking Netflix documentary. They will. That's what happens when you go nuts and do shit like this.
honestly, like when it comes to backing horses, they picked the wrong ones. Like they have
Yeah.
Amber Heard and they've got Ezra
And
Miller.
especially when you consider that Ezra Miller was meant to be leading what seemed to be the reset film that was
Yep.
going to lead into the new era of DC. I don't know what that looks like now. I have no idea.
Well, yeah,
Get
not to
Grant
mention,
Gustin.
you know,
Get Grant fucking Gustin and reshoot.
he's
I
certainly
think,
earned the role. I would say.
I would
Poor
say
guy.
that Grant Gustin seems to have earned the role. He's been on that show for what, 9 years? I'm sure the show is awful,
He's-
but he seems like a nice enough person.
That's what I was
The
gonna say.
show, the show is off.
The clips I have seen, that poor fucker has been given it
He's
everything.
trying.
despite
He's trying so
those
hard.
scripts.
in the
He
face of
reads
that
those
show.
scripts and he's like, Jesus Christ, fine.
Yeah, but if you see like since like series 7 or something, everyone's checked out.
That
Nobody
makes sense.
gives a fuck.
Well, 'cause it's
I mean,
like,
that whole universe is dead now, isn't it?
Yes.
This is the last of the Arrowverse, and then that's it.
I think
But it
when you're
was-
at that point of movie making / acting, it's like McDonald's where you come to work. It's so processy.
It's
and
just
you
your
go,
job, you know.
Yeah.
You'd go in, you'd clock you probably more than 8 hours, probably.
It's been like
and then-
that. It's been like that for years now, really, hasn't it? Especially
Yeah, that's
on
what
the
I mean.
more-
Like to the point where he
Like-
probably doesn't even care that they're getting cancelled. He's probably like, all right then.
Yeah,
Like,
I guess
that
that's
was
the end of
fun,
that chapter.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
they were
I
going to replace the Arrowverse with the Naomiverse. So that was an interesting one.
Well, I
No,
mean, there
Naomi
was
was the,
talk of the Naomiverse. Yes,
That was the show where
We don't want crossovers because our
That was-
characters will stand on their own and cross over into other people. So that, like the quotes that came out, that was amazing.
Was that the show where there was the clip where the character like flew up, but it looked like they had taken a PNG file and just put it across the screen?
Well, I'm just thinking about the end of Crisis Over the Earth where they had the little
Oh
Justice
my
League.
god!
Remember that?
And the,
Even Ruby
the
Rose
little
did it.
table with the little stitched on.
Oh,
symbols on the chest.
Ruby.
They had their final battle in like some construction yard in Vancouver.
I thought it was like a car park behind.
Yeah, it was just like some industrial lot in Vancouver. Like that they
Oh my
fought the
God.
giant anti-monitor guy, remember? And he
Oh,
was
yeah, the
So bad.
oh my god, that was the fucking worst
And see,
thing.
that's the
That
thing.
was the worst thing. Like,
I could
ever
totally
seen.
see like someone taking over control of DC, seeing projects like that in production, being like, "What the fuck
What-
is this?
What were you thinking?
How do you expect
Like,
to make money? This is
What
an
about, what about
embarrassment."
the
That's what I feel
what
like
about the
now.
Black Canary TV
Are we
series?
wasting our
I
money
think
on?
that's yeah, exactly. You're wasting money on. I've seen a lot of people say that DC's been more interesting than Marvel lately because they've just thrown everything at the wall. I find this to be a weird statement. It implies that like you couldn't have good movies if you tried to have something that was more cohesive. And you think about the good movies in DC lately, they're mostly the ones that have nothing to do with the extended universe. We're talking
Yeah.
like Joker and the Batman that are totally
Yeah.
segmented away from that universe.
Which is their argument. They're saying like, "See, we end up with that when you don't try and link everything." It's like, no, Marvel are just really bad right now.
Marvel are
They're
doing a
really
bad
fucking
job.
Bad at
but
it.
For a time, they were doing an okay job, and the potential is really there. But just because they're doing a shit job now doesn't mean that it can't be done with DC.
Yeah.
And you know, like I think I would like to see, as much as I do like Batman, the Batman, and want it to continue, like, you know, on its own trajectory. It'd be cool to see Batman actually with Superman as best friends working together, you know. Or like him going up with the crazier villains in his universe.
Well, let's
It'd be
be
cool
honest.
to have a Justice League.
Culturally, we've been in this weird position where everyone assumes we've had plenty of, like, dare I say, classic normal Batman and Superman. So every time it seems like it wants to be subversive, when it's just like, hey guys, it's been long enough.
It's been a long time.
Let's get a
Yeah,
normal Superman and Batman again, please.
that would be cool.
Give us. It's been because Superman, especially, dude. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's been so long, and like it would be downright bold to do like a Boy Scout Superman who's, you know, small town, helps people with a smile on his face, deals with normal problems, and is very grounded.
You'd just be like
that would
on
be-
the edge of my seat the whole time, waiting for him to toss an enemy into a building, and just like, please don't do it, don't do it,
No, don't do it. Or like
Punch
he
a
does
kid
it.
in the face.
No, he needs to drive through like a petrol station, blow it up with all the people inside.
Make sure there's
Wow.
babies inside.
What about my baby? Fuck your baby.
He's like flying them in first.
Yeah, he gets them all and blows it up. Hey,
What-
high score.
I guess maybe this is a question to ask. What do people expect will be like the end outcome of these changes at Warner Brothers? Like, what do you think DC is going to look like in 5 years?
Fuck
Probably
if
a
I know,
mess.
dude.
It really depends how much power he's got, because he's going to face rebellion from his entire company, and I don't know whether he knows it or whether he's like prepared. Like if he goes around and starts doing what he's like talking about doing, all journalists will turn against him, all the press will turn against him. His own like you'll have walkouts and there's what do you
mean?
Netflix and
Like,
Spotify
what
do-
do
Good,
you,
you're getting rid of the wrong people.
No,
I
no,
guess-
I agree, but I don't know whether someone's got like the spine to actually stand up against that. Because
I'm not sure. What do you mean? Like, in terms of people walking out, like, what do you think of the changes?
what
that
you
are gonna
you
get
saw
made?
people like Kevin Smith in this. I think it's a bad look to cancel the Latina actress and stuff like that.
Oh,
You're going to
right.
face.
Nobody gives a fuck what
No,
Kevin
I
Smith
figured
says.
that
but that will be a widespread held opinion. Like you saw Spotify
to,
and stuff like that happen before. You're going to have walkouts when you start saying no, you can't put in this in the movie anymore. You're going to have to
But
start.
Zaslav is a money guy.
Yeah,
These
I
are
figure he just wants
ideological
to make one that
weirdos.
makes
He's not
money,
interested
though.
in your ideology. He's interested in money.
But I mean,
yes, but the
how
way
are they...
you make money is to make a film without ideology in it, and there will be people that
But-
want to put it in all the time, and those people will rebel. Both in
But
the
why would,
journalists.
like, isn't
Yeah, but
Blue,
does he have the
Blue
spine?
Beetle is still coming out, right?
We'll see. We'll see.
I
think
think
if he-
I think it was like announced that one's still coming out, and I figured that could be interesting.
If
Well,
he
I'm not sure about because
axes-
this was cancelled because it was a tax write-off. Now, I've heard some people say that ones like The Flash can't. I don't know enough about American tax law to even comment. But
right.
because someone said that if they've been marketing the movie, then you can't because it's like essentially as if it's come out kind of thing. I don't know whether.
Yeah, I
Because you
couldn't tell
gain
you.
some level of profit from the content in some way already, maybe like awareness. But I was just going to say, like, what he needs, the only way he'll survive theoretically then is that we have to get some bangers from his reign, right? With DC, they have to actually release someone.
They need to make a lot of money. That would be
And
that'll
is
be the
he-
most important part. From
Is he trying to be Kevin Feige, or is he looking to hire?
he wants
Kevin
a Kevin
Feige?
Feige. I think he
Yeah.
hired a guy who used to work at Marvel to like bring him into DC. He's the CEO of the company. I don't think
thought,
that he's like
I thought
involved.
James Gunn was getting into DC as well. Or
He is. He's doing more TV shows. I think.
'Cause
I think
that could
Idris
be a
Elba
plan.
Idris Elba recently said that. I think he's developing something with DC, like maybe a Deadshot movie. Wait,
Bloodsport?
did I just say fun? God
Wow,
damn it!
racist.
No, the Bloodsport movie, which could be. I guess I wonder if I think when Batgirl got cancelled, it was like, are you gonna just like cancel and like stop it and be like, all right, we'll release what we've got and then that's it, and then we'll restart again. I don't know if they're gonna restart though, because like, what does it look like with Black Adam? That seems to be. They think that film is a bigger deal than it will be. I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they've specifically said they like that movie because the
Well,
Rock.
I think
Because of The Rock,
there was
yeah.
a tweet or something something on Instagram where Dwayne Johnson was like, "Yeah, can't wait to start the Black Adam DC universe." It's like, what? Like the Black Adam DC universe?
God,
I
dude,
feel
you need to
like-
lock that shit
want
down.
to,
You know, be
I
like,
want
shut
to-
the fuck up about the Black Adam universe, dude.
And
What
the
fuck about
League of
this?
Super Pets universe as well, which I doubt there's going to be a second one of that.
I did want to respond to this one that came up here. Am I too biased against modern films? I think some of this might come down to like just being burned so many times by films nowadays.
The
You
bias
like Top Gun though, right?
What's that? Sorry.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
like
you
Top
loved
Gun
it.
Maverick, right? That's a newer movie.
Yeah, I loved it. Yeah, but that's like
Also-
a shining beacon in a big sea of like fucking human excrement that we have nowadays. Like it's that was what was so surprising about that film. I was like, wow, they actually.
can-
just-
I can name-
Whenever someone says this, just create the list. You should just have a
Yeah, I was
list
gonna say,
written down of
Brinker,
all
you're,
the new stuff.
Similarly to me, I'm pretty sure you liked Ford v Ferrari, right? Parasite, Marriage Story, Joker. Obviously, I think it's safe to say 2019 is still modern. So
Of course.
yeah, there's still plenty we love that come out. The Father's one of my favorite films of all time. That's
Everything
like
Ever All at
super
Once.
recent. Yeah,
Amazing.
that's but you could call it a bias. But what I would say is that we're very hyper aware of the meta for the creation of a lot of this stuff, and then we know who's making this stuff, and so we base a lot of our expectations on that, and we can see their trappings as creators. like, for how despite how fucking shit it is, Thor: Love and Thunder kind of I could tell it's made by Taika Waititi, if that makes sense. Like, yeah, I can see his fingerprints on it. It's just that it's like one of his worst things ever.
And you can see fingerprints with a lot of like J.J. Abrams' mystery boxes and
Yeah.
shit, like, and throwing in all the iconic imagery that you remember, like getting you in, but never finishing the story, because when he has to do that, you get the Rise of Skywalker.
Wah, wah.
Yeah, you can see a lot of the trends, because like with Marvel in particular, I'm not sure if I keep saying this, but like it's so true. The Marvel shows have like a really clear formula, at least the 6-episode ones.
Yeah.
Episode 1 ends with a big reveal, like some big hook to get you in, and then it just deteriorates. Episode 4 ends with some big climactic thing. 5 is some revelation filled, usually got flashbacks, and then 6 has the big stupid action with the comic book costume for the merchandise. It's so reliable, and like when you start noticing patterns like that, it's like, damn, man, it gets hard to like look at the next project from that company and be optimistic that you're going to get something really unconventional.
This is probably where I came from with Prey, in that we'd had terrible Predator movies up until this point. We'd had The Predator, which was garbage, and it was like, this is just going to be another attempt to cash in on the Predator brand.
Yeah.
With this, and they're not only that, but they're gonna try and work in like the female empowerment angle, which just seems pretty played out by this point. And so all of those things combined together just gave me an impression of like, this film's gonna be garbage, and that's an element of the meta leaking into like my perception of films, and it's not great when that happens to you, but it's an inevitable result of just like, this is where we're at with modern entertainment now, I guess.
It's a shame, because I mean, Prey is beautifully shot. It's
nice
a
looking
really
movie.
nice looking movie.
I guess I don't want to go into films with that negative mindset.
No,
but
it sucks. It's lame when isn't it? Like to sort of be like looking at the landscape and not getting excited about movies.
That's not our fault. That's
gonna
not
say-
our
I was
No.
gonna say
So
that,
that's what I'm saying. Is it's lame that's kind of where we're at right now, where we look at the landscape and are not given much cause to get excited. I'm not saying it's like a consumer problem, right? It's an industry problem. Like, it begins with what's coming out.
And the actors and the showrunners.
go to a restaurant and like they serve you a turd on a bun, like for like 6 weeks straight, and then you go back week 7 and it's like, I'm going to review it this time. It's like, well, I'm expecting shit food, you know what I mean? Like,
especially if you're ordering the turd bun 7, you're just like, well,
yeah.
And when it comes to movie, it's the actors and the showrunners have already done a marketing tour, and they're telling you that the next one will be awful. They're like, well, this is what we put in it. We got this burger and we specifically put a turd inside it. I hope you enjoy that over there. It's like, well, I'm only going to the movie expecting what the actor and the showrunners have told me I'm going to get.
I feel like none of us just make this shit up, right? Because at one point in time, I thought Thor: Love and Thunder had potential, and then when I was watching it in the day, I was dreading watching that film. What happened? Well, I saw the trailer. I saw Taika talking about the movie. I saw clips.
I saw the last Marvel movie.
I saw a lot of meta information, and some of it's not even necessarily meta. That just colors my perspective entirely. And then it turns out I was just, on point, like all of us were with predicting that one. What I'm saying is, like, a lot of this shit is brought on themselves. They like destroy their own reputation. Look at Rings of Power, man. Jesus Christ.
Oh.
Well, it's interesting you should say that, because allow me to furnish you with some of the
No.
journalism that's going on at the moment. Like, just give me 1 second.
I'm the king of segues now.
Rings of Power is like, that's less than a month away, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well,
Dude, there's so
yeah,
much shit that's about to come out. It's insane.
I saw Az tweet this, and I had to Google the title because I thought it was a joke. That's how bad this was. I'm like, if this is an image, I need to make sure this is real.
What is this? What is
How
this?
gay could it be?
this is what journalists are paid to write.
Why?
What?
Why
I don't
are we-
understand.
Why are we in this universe?
What's happening?
It sounds like a 13-year-old. It was just like a 13-year-old from the 90s.
I'm just picking. Imagine that when they release the fucking trailers for like the original 3 movies, and then there's like Saruman is just like, how gay could he be? Like, that would never happen.
It goes out like a rainbow suit of armor.
In a shire far, far away,
Why?
a massive bunch of gay hobbits.
Why is this an article? What? Why have they done
This is
Now,
this is their audience.
I,
This is their audience.
I should read a paragraph or two because this will give you some insight into the mindset of the author. Shall I?
Alrighty.
You please.
Some might consider this unnerving, wary of how adaptations can take liberties with beloved source material. Imagine that. But I am optimistic. The release of the film featuring black actress Sophie Nomvet has dwarf Princess Disa, suggesting the creators are keen to diversify Tolkien's world. Original female characters are set to be included too.
Whoa.
Superb. With these steps to pull Tolkien's work into the modern
That's
world.
an interesting use of the word there. Pull.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, but here we
Kicking
go.
and screaming.
It has to reflect the modern world. It can't be a fantasy story about pure imagination. It has to be about the world we live in today with all of
They
our...
just stick that from fucking Willy Wonka.
Is that a quote?
I mean, she's actually called it like a necessary redress of balance. This is a commentary on where we came from and a statement about where we need to go. And like her quotes are gold. I've never seen so many come out of one person, but this is all she ever talks about in interviews. In my last video, I just did the first 90 seconds with like almost entirely her quotes, and it's just astonishing when you put them together.
I guess everybody has different objectives when it comes to telling stories, but like it's a weird one to have like a really important storyteller objective be like how it slots into the current media landscape rather than considering how you create something that is like enduring. You know, like I don't know.
It seems like a deliberate marketing thing, because if you look at the marketing, she's actually in more of the marketing doing more interviews than Galadriel is, when Galadriel's the main character.
She's the main
and yet you
character,
look at the
right?
trailer, and it's the other way around. Galadriel's in more of the trailer than the marketing. So it's almost like she's a side character, and she's just pushed as, like, you need to...
Disa is barely in this series, by the way.
Yeah, but she's in nearly all the interviews and marketing. Like,
Oh, do you think it's just like the actress herself just really wants to just fucking talk
about?
No, I think Amazon... like all of them have their own little angles, and they have statements that they repeat in every single interview. And like hers, it really seems like they just pushed it. Like this is good. You need to say this a lot.
I guess their marketing must be like, because like I don't know that I've ever seen like such a big mainstream like media like television show get such backlash. I don't think I've ever quite seen something like this before.
Well, I would say we saw a little bit of it with season 8's end of Game of Thrones, but that was
Sure,
post.
that was
We've
after
never
the
seen
fact,
it. Yeah, we've never seen it pre.
Where like
certainly not.
hundreds of thousands, millions of people are like openly voicing their disinterest or disdain for the show before it's out.
Especially with highlighting when we haven't even had a first bad season or anything. We've had nothing, and people are just like, "Don't you fuck with this."
Just before we go on, I just want to read like a paragraph from this that just makes me so fucking sad in terms of the perception of what like fantasy should be now. It's this one here where they say attempting to divorce sexuality from the fantasy genre is an impossible task. Our longest surviving examples of fantasy, fairy tales, are built on foundations of heterosexuality. The prince marries the princess, the knight rescues the maiden. Tolkien is rife with couples and marriages. You'd almost think that's how the majority of people live, and that's why it's reflected in the stories.
But nobody's saying it should be divorced.
I just immediately thought about like the Balrog, and I was like, what about that? Is like
I was kind of thinking that too, like about all the fantasy creatures and everything, like how much that factors in.
Who does the Balrog fuck? I've got to know. It's like,
well, it's a matter of focus with stories, right? Like
if you obsess over this shit in your day-to-day life, you're gonna see it everywhere. You know, that analogy of like if all you've got is a hammer, then all you can see is fucking nails.
That's just all anyone's asked for is that the characters in the book are the same as they're in the book. It's like if it's shown in the book, then fine, they can have, you know, the wives, whatever. If they're not, then it's clearly not important to the story because it was never written down enough. So they have it to invent this and say it's important. If every character, just people don't want it changed,
is minimalized in Tolkien's work as well, because ultimately it's about heroism. It's about, you know, like bonds of fellowship and stuff. Like actual sexuality plays such a tiny role in the overarching story of what he's trying to do. But like these people are so fucking obsessed with that stuff. It's all they can see, and they try to project it into everything that they read and consume.
I think I think
that's
it's a matter of focus, really, isn't it? Like when you write a story, you can focus on like what you want. And it seems in this case that they have like a focus that they want to do with the show, but it's really weird to state it as like a necessity rather than a choice that you've made, and also that it's a choice that everybody has to make. Everybody can make whatever decisions they want about like what they want to focus in on their story. And yeah, Lord of the Rings was never really focused on like on that. Like it's much more focused on like I guess a broader adventure story about camaraderie and friendship and working together to like face an seemingly unstoppable evil.
Well, the thing is, it's called A Private Life for a reason, in the fact that unless you're doing a romantic comedy where that is literally the main point, that like you're focusing specifically on this person's private life, then it doesn't matter. It's going to be done behind closed doors. It's going to be done when they're not doing anything of actual like interest to the main story, which is why it's generally not written about. And yeah, you may know that somebody's wife there because they've had a kid, and so you've had to explain the relationship, but you don't actually focus on like what happens like in the private of their own home, whereas you can focus on battles and stuff.
Call me crazy, right? But when I base my understanding of a character on something like, their attitudes towards the world, their goals, their ambitions, their hopes, their dreams, their fears, their insecurities, all that stuff, probably the lowest down the list of things that I find interesting about them is who they like to fuck.
Wow, yes. Crazy.
Well, I thought we all agreed that like these sorts of character, like it doesn't have a bearing on who you are. Like as a person,
think it should.
Like what you. I like surely the ideal world is where like it's like indifferent, right? It's like whatever you're just telling stories. This is just about characters and like the adventures they're going on, and like how relevant or irrelevant it is determined by like the story that you're telling.
Yeah, imagine like an evil king in a fantasy setting who doesn't want to relinquish his hold on power and like cracks down hard on rebellions throughout his land, all that sort of thing. That's what informs who he is as a character, not who he likes to have sex with at the end of each day. But that's
what are your priorities, your beliefs, your like flaws and your strengths as a person. I don't know. I find this article strikes me as odd.
Well, the article is like something I would have thought Az would have made it up as a joke.
I thought he did. No, that's why I googled it. I thought it was because sometimes those fake articles go around where someone just made it up as a joke, and it's just an image. That's what this. I had to Google it to see if it was true. But they do think, like, if you come from the collectivist point of view, you do think that if you have this characteristic, you must think and agree and value the same things I do. So they do genuinely think that this means that everyone has the same values.
Because there's a line in there that, because I was reading it, I had to laugh to myself because it says like as a gay Tolkien nerd or something like that. I read it, like I started laughing before I'd even finished the sentence. So to me, it just said, as a gay, I would like to tell it's getting so ridiculous. Like that's a profession or something. Like, I am an experienced gay. I would like to talk about it. It's like, what the fuck?
As a gay, I'd like to talk about the hobbits.
I did enough. There's a quote here from what's her name? Sophia Nomvet, right? So she plays Disa, like the female dwarf queen. So like when she gets asked about like the role that she's playing, the questions are never about like the character, what the character's motivations, what she's trying to accomplish in her life, anything like that. It's what does it mean as an actor to play this character as a black person? And so what she comes back with says it means absolutely everything. Everyone was cast because they were the best for the role, and to be part of that redress of balance within this world is an absolute honor.
What you just said there was interesting. That like that there's not much in interviews talking about the characters. That's bizarre.
It's all about like, what does it mean to be a demographic within this environment? What does it mean to be a woman within the world of Tolkien? What does it mean to be a black person within the world of Tolkien? What does it mean to be like a non-binary person within the world of Tolkien? It's all about those things. It's about the actors themselves. It's never about, like, what does your character actually want from their life? What are they trying to do? And it's so effective.
And it's
because
so
they don't separate the fantasy from the current day politics. They want it everywhere. They want it in their everyday life. They want it in their media. They want it in their entertainment. They want it they want it in their news. Everywhere they look, that's what they want. There. Whereas we want entertainment.
And of
We
course
want our everyday lives to be put aside. We want politics to be put aside. Everything to be. We will just want to sit there and lose ourselves for however long it is, an hour, a week, for 8 weeks or whatever. That's what we want. These people are just so consumed by their ideology. The Disa, and fuck me, she's so fucking annoying. And every interview she does, it means everything to people of color. It doesn't mean everything to people of color at all. You shouldn't be a fucking black dwarf in the first place. Don't make a lick of sense. But modern day sensibilities, modern day political ideology has been thrust into it, so all the ideologues can go, yes, we can see current day in our escapism. And of course, escapism meaning not escaping at all, just consistently seeing it here, and here. When you heard the Black Elf talk, he was talking about, oh, it's great for people to see people like me on screen. It's all this see me on screen. Narcissistical talk. It's all narcissistical talk. See me. People can relate. I don't relate to skin color. I relate to the character. I relate to the immutable characteristics of that person. Skin color, sexuality, it's superficial. It's meaningless. And this is why we have these absolutely wafer-thin characters now, because they are built upon superficiality and not depth.
Well, isn't it one of the actresses who was in this said that, well, I'm an activist in my day-to-day life, and they allowed me
Yes.
to
Yeah.
back to
And
my-
she was next to the Alf, and she said, we're both activists. So
Yeah.
I think
No,
it seems like that's, if we're not talking about the characters, like we're not actually focusing on the story or the art or like what you were thinking about when you were trying to create everything and like how you portrayed it on stream, and it's much more about like that just strikes me as vanity. Like, you know, like it feels like it's a lot more about you rather than like the work. It's just,
Well, yeah, I mean,
There's
dude,
two-
if I was set to interview these fuckers and they all started calling themselves activists, I'd be like, all right, put your hand up if you're just an actress. Anyone here is just an actress. And then the person puts their hand like, all right, tell me about your character. Go ahead.
I think that would be my attitude. It's like, well, okay, you're an activist. Okay, great. That you can do that in your own time. Have fun. But like in this context, like I don't give a fuck like what your political beliefs are, and I don't give a shit about your activism. I'm interested to talk about the character that you're playing in this actual show. You know, the fantasy element of what you're doing.
can we just talk about the work? Can we just talk about the movie or the film, like the TV show?
The other half does, because
Like,
half
if
of them
you see this,
do.
it'll get like a free lunch or something. Like it's so weird.
Half of them focus on that kind of angle and, I'm the first. But one of them said there's a lot of firsts in this cast. But the other half, when they're talking about their characters, all they talk about is how they're reinterpreting Tolkien. They're just inventing it new. They're just making it up. Oh, well, I can look at it and change the words. And, oh, well, he didn't write much about this, so I think we can do something original. So literally none of it is... Only the showrunners have ever said, we're trying to make it the same. And even that, it's like they'll say one thing and they just show another on the screen, or you can see from the cast that they've altered it.
Well,
So
that's
it's
just
like one half
like-
makes excuses and the other half just does activism.
Could you not say that this is all going to be summarized with fuck around and find out? Like that's what this will be. The entire project.
It'll be like Wheel of Time. You'll see
yeah.
massive premiere numbers. This is the biggest premiere we've ever done, and they'll never talk about the viewership
Man,
of the rest of the
they've
series.
spent so much money on this. Isn't it like $500 million?
They're committed to
yeah.
5 seasons.
and
Yeah, they have. Yeah.
and you got like they vampire bite so many franchises, and Lord of the Rings is just so plump to them. It's right. It's sitting there.
It's so
Juicy little
He's
plump.
just there.
Yeah.
And he's
And
sitting there, it's just smile with a smile on his face. He turns around, he's like, "Well, I thought I heard something like a tree branch."
Well,
break."
like,
they
there's a
wanna-
lot of people surrounding that plump little thing with a bunch of crosses and garlic. Like
They want to do spin-off series. Like, this isn't just what they want to do. They want to use this to move off into various
Oh, they
different
want a
things.
franchise.
Because they've spent,
They want a
yeah, they've
franchise.
spent so much.
Multiverse.
They want loads of series going.
Everybody
wanted
wants a
to,
franchise now.
That's what HBO wanted for Game of Thrones, but they had such a bad ending.
Hey, look, they're trying, all right? They're trying.
They're
Just go
desperately
backwards.
trying to claw anything back.
But again, House of the Dragon falls victim to the same bullshit where it's like their leading premise is that like, wouldn't it be great if like all the men would just fucking die and let the women take charge? It's like
An actress actually said that. It's like all the
Wouldn't it
problems
be
would go
great
away if a
if all
woman
the
was in
men
charge.
died?
It's like, come on.
Do you not get that the majority of your audience is men, and they're probably not going to take too kindly to that kind of sentiment? But it's like, nah, like they should just accept it.
Dude,
It's
I
like, what
think Gary's been correct
are we living in here?
for a while now, where he was just like, just let him do it. Let him do it. They can see what happens. Like when that's the only goal with storytelling.
Patriarchy.
I mean, you know, who knows? Maybe it is gonna. This will be the tide turning with this one. Rings of Power feels like it's gonna be a bit special. Let's put it that way, culturally.
It seems
I
that
think-
way.
This
On the Olympics kind of a
got
way.
so much infamy. Everyone's going to tune in for the first few episodes, and it's going to get insane numbers because whether it's good or bad, they're going to want to see it.
Lord of the
So
Rings.
how bad it is.
Most people have a
Quote, unquote.
Prime account anyway.
Well, yeah, of course. That's and everyone's gonna want to talk about this thing because everyone's talking about it. Because everyone's talking about it. Because everyone's talking about it. You know what I mean? Like it's just sort of.
It's a feedback loop. It kind of reinforces itself. Everybody wants to watch it because maybe they're happy. I'm sure they're not happy with that, actually. They'd probably be happy if everybody was just unconditionally excited for it.
Well, you should
But,
expect a big fight, right? There's gonna be a whole bunch of Twitter accounts being like,
Oh,
"This
it's
is the
going to
most
be
incredible
painful, isn't it?
thing."
That's going to be,
Yep.
you're going to have
They'll
to
say
wait
it's,
through
it's the greatest show ever, and if you don't like it,
Yeah.
you're a
You
thing.
just can't talk about it. Can we just talk about the story? Can we just do that for once?
It's the writing that's going to determine this show. And from what I've seen so far, it's not particularly good.
Well, I was about to say, what if it comes out and it's like a masterpiece? Like,
I doubt it.
It's not. Trust me.
well, so I sincerely doubt it.
Hey, you know,
It's one of
stranger
the
things have happened.
anyway.
mhm.
I mean,
5
who knows?
seasons, my asshole. I don't
5
think they'll make it a
seasons.
5 seasons.
They've
but
committed. They've
be
committed to it.
wrong.
I think they have to. I'm
Hey,
pretty
Didn't
sure.
you like
do it legally? Is
CSI?
that how that works?
CSI.
I'm pretty sure that shows like when they get, because I think this, South Park has been renewed for like 5 more seasons. I think that's a commitment. Like that in order to breach that commitment means spending a lot of money. And that's how I understand it.
If the viewership was like almost nil and the critical reception was hideous,
Right,
or
like it might
something
be
like,
worth it at that point to just
yeah,
cancel
I'd be
it.
curious about it. But
Maybe that's a
I'm
possibility.
sure they'll get plenty of viewers, but who knows how long they'll last? You know.
Right.
Well, with Wheel of Time, yeah, they kept talking about the premiere, and then even when the finale was out, they're like, the premiere numbers, though, they were great, weren't they? Never, like,
You
just
should always-
silence about everything else.
So this is something that I learned by just talking about video games and stuff in the video game industry. Whenever you get told how many copies of a game have been shipped or how much revenue that game has made, but not its actual like sales numbers, like, it was the biggest launch when you include like the bundles that it sold with. If they're confident, they'll just tell you the numbers. They'll just tell you how much they've sold, how many copies they've sold, how many people are watching it.
Didn't Disney do that with like when Loki did really well? They were like, Loki's doing amazing. Look how Loki's doing. And then the other shows, they're like, they're doing great. There's no need for us to tell you anything more than that.
Yeah, it's just that's just how it works. It's like when video games started hiding play accounts, like Halo. Halo is a clear example of this. Halo 3, Halo 4, Halo Reach, Halo 4 had their play accounts, but people stopped playing Halo 4. So Halo 5 is like no play accounts. It's like interesting.
Yeah.
Hide this from me.
And we're starting to learn as well, like opening box office weekend for Marvel movies. It's the second weekend that's the interesting one at this point.
Yes,
So
because like Top Gun being the highest grossing film of the year is owing to its staying power. It's not that it had a big debut, but the more important part is that people keep watching it.
Oh,
like
that
week
shit's
over week.
still in the cinemas now.
It is, yeah. I think they're bringing it back for IMAX.
I think we can all agree. I genuinely think all the people on the fucking internet can agree. Nobody's watching Thor: Love and Thunder twice.
No,
That
why?
ain't happening.
Why?
Why would anyone do that? Even though I think Gary said he did because he took his son to go and see it the second time.
Why did he want him to suffer?
Oh, apparently did like it. The
Well,
kid.
yeah.
But to be fair, Gary said he bought the ticket for Top Gun, so it's all good. But that level of, because like No Way Home clearly got rewatched. Thor: Love and Thunder did not.
Yeah, and I'm
I
sure
wouldn't
even
be
Doctor
surprised if we had
Strange,
reverse word of mouth where friends were like, "Don't go see that Love and Thunder thing; it's a waste of time."
Oh, of course, there's reverse word of mouth, right? Like, yeah, that happens where people tell you not to watch something that you otherwise would have.
I guess
mean,
that would
and
still be word of mouth. It's not necessarily,
yeah.
just
Well, I
bad
mean, it's
word of
bad
mouth.
word of mouth, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I guess
Well, they did that with the Northman.
Yeah, and I think it's like listening
they
to
try
reviews.
that.
People used to read reviews to see if a movie was good or not, and now does anyone really trust reviews? I'd rather listen to my mate and what he has to say than a reviewer any day of the week.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
No,
what
because they
good comes
judge it
from
on something completely different to how movies used to be judged.
I guess it would
Which
just
was
be
on-
the call would be like, I don't know this reviewer. You're just like a reviewer for a website. Like, I don't know what your preferences are. I don't know what you like or dislike in films. What you say, I can't use as much as what a friend says, who I know what they like, and they probably like what I like. Just
Yeah,
makes
for
sense
instance,
that we're
right?
naturally moving that way.
If Movie Bob recommends a film, it's like, I have no idea what's going to be in that film. It's really, I don't fucking know.
I'm pretty sure it'll be like an anarcho-communist like society. It's like, yeah, that's not what I'm going for, Bob.
Another thing, if I don't know, guys, if you were told like you can watch a movie that was 80% recommended by Rotten Tomatoes critics or 100%, I'm inclined to be like maybe the 80 because
Maybe I'll go for the 80.
I don't know about that 100. Hey, that's what Black Panther got when that came out, right? That got 100%.
I think it got like a 93 or something. It was
Well,
super
'cause
high.
I remember
You
it
know-
got knocked down to 99 because one reviewer said he didn't like the action scenes enough.
No, I think you're thinking about it was Toy Story. One of the Toy Story films had 100%, and then somebody reviewed it and gave it a 99.
No,
I know
it
what
was
you mean,
Black
though.
Panther. It was 100%
No,
Black
I think-
Panther.
I
'Cause
think
it
what
was,
you
he said there wasn't
Oh,
enough action
oh, I
scenes, and
think
he got in
you're
a
right.
huge amount of trouble with people because they were like, "That's fucked up that you reduced Black Panther from 100% to 99 just because there weren't enough action scenes." That's what his review
You know
said.
what?
I think.
We could do with less. Black Panther's action. It's fucking PS3 cutscenes. Like,
Hey, PS3 ain't that bad.
that's true. Uncharted 3's got some pretty good animation. Yeah.
This is what I was saying earlier. Like, when it comes to Wakanda Forever, no professional critic is going to give that movie a bad score. No, like that is going to get like 100% across the board because it's like paying tribute to Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah.
It's got like a diverse female main character now. Like, yeah, there's no way you can criticize this film.
Yeah, and that was the issue in games. And a lot of the devs got bonuses if they hit a certain Rotten Tomatoes score. And so they deliberately
Metacritic.
started to appeal. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Metacritic. They started to appeal specifically to the people that would review on there and just to get their extra money. So it's very easily influenced on this. And I think it works the other way around as well. If there's critics, like there was one, was it The Guardian, who said that Top Gun just appealed to toxic masculinity or something like that. If I see a comment like that, I'm not going to watch it. So, sometimes if a critic criticizes something, it's good.
To be fair, like if The Guardian criticizes anything, that's an indication.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. If one of you says they got toxic male leads or something, I'm immediately being like, I wonder why they would have said that. Is it because they're like really aggressive or assertive, or not because I actually think there's gonna be a viability that I. When have we ever come out of a film thinking the main character is toxic?
Yeah,
Toxic is a overused
no, it's like I think
and
we're
in
all
wrong context word.
We're all old enough to remember when men used to act like actual fucking men in movies. Like they were.
Well, that's what toxic.
They were domineering. They knew how to handle themselves. It's like they're not allowed to do that now, but we remember when they were. And so, like that, yeah. When we find that in movies, that's toxic, apparently.
Yeah, toxic masculinity just basically means masculinity. That's
Masculinity.
what they mean by it. If they're not submissive, then they're toxically masculine.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah,
like,
if you're not submissive, that's
empowering.
exactly.
So, like, it's swings and roundabouts, really, isn't it?
Oh, I stand corrected. The Toxic Avenger had a toxic male in there. That's fair.
Yeah. Speaking of toxic, actually, should we look at some of the super chats?
Yeah.
See what the toxic chat have been saying.
All right. Well, this one is four-parter, so like bear with me while I do this one. So I'm gonna tell you a story, gentlemen. This is from Chucksenhausen, who says, and I begin. Honestly, Drinker, no one can convince me to watch Prey, even with the honest reviews of yourself and Az. Reason being is you can never convince me that a 115-pound girl with noodle arms can take down a predator. Yes, she outsmarted him. I looked up the spoiler, but you know the writers gave an infinite amount of plot armor to make it work. Normal settings, she'd be crushed. Heck, if she went against the hash brown legend of Hawk in Cobra Kai, she'd be dead away. DOA, sorry. Even if she went against Tori from Cobra Kai, she'd lose. Tori would just use that rope axe of hers to tie her up and bend her over with ease. I mean, that is
Ladies.
true. Yeah, I don't know what I can say to that to counter it. I think you've hit the nail on the head there.
Yeah, they had the chance to write it well, and they didn't write it well enough. I'm sorry. That's the conclusion.
I would love to see this character transposed into Cobra Kai. I think that'd be lovely.
Why do you want to win the tournament? Because you say I can't.
And an actual good Green Lantern movie, not Ezra Miller's Flash. Me and him got unfinished business, if you know what I mean. Can't wait. There we go.
They're working on a Green Lantern show, right?
Green Lantern Corps show.
Yeah. That could be cool, I guess.
Yeah.
Chucks and Housen also said, trust me, Tori would absolutely annihilate the girl from Prey and would do things to Cherokee girl that would make her obey and be submissive to her.
Wow.
Well, I hope Disparu got turned on by this.
Oh my.
I think you made a whole new film there, dude.
Yeah.
Probably be
They have a name for films like that.
Yeah. But fair play. I'd watch it.
Well, we already know there's a lot of predators in Hollywood.
Hey!
Anyway, Ivan Jaros says, Drinker, get Vox's Productions on the show. I've had him on before, actually. He's done Lord of the Rings with me. So, yeah, he was great.
He reviewed Dune recently. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't.
He fucking ripped into that movie. Holy shit.
Oh.
I like Dune.
Makes me sad.
He slaughtered it. I was actually like, oh my god. Poor dude getting ripped to shreds. But hey, he's a big fan of the book and he felt like the adaptation was terrible.
Okay. Oh, I might have to watch that. That makes me sad.
Hey, you know what? Every opinion's valid, and that's okay.
Often ones which are
Everyone.
Everyone.
Can't we make some exceptions?
Apart from
All right,
the one
fine.
subjective. Daniel Monroe says, yes, Drinker, guests in chat. Bit random, but here goes. What was your favorite of the mid-90s creature films? I think mine would have to be Relic, but I have got a soft spot for Congo as well.
Species.
For obvious reasons.
What qualifies as a creature film?
Well,
Like, is
anything
it-
with monsters, I suppose.
Okay. Does Lake Placid count? I haven't seen that since like it came out. Do you guys remember that? Just like Jaws, but with a crocodile.
Yeah, it's
instead,
like,
I guess.
yeah.
Work.
Yeah, because I don't know if real. Does it have to be like a fantasy monster, or can it just be a regular
I
monster?
was going to say, would Jurassic Park count?
Really?
Probably, maybe. If it does, that's fucking
Probably the
win.
right answer.
Yeah.
Probably the correct answer, isn't it?
I've got a real soft spot for Mimic. You know, the one with like the mutated cockroach things that like were killing people in like the underground in New York or something. I like Mimic. That would probably be my 90s like.
Ooh, Anaconda. I remember that.
I'll take my Natasha Hestridge. Thank you.
You stop right there with you.
I remember the Species film.
No, Mum.
I went to see
movie.
Species at the cinema, and I actually felt like I was watching a porn.
I mean,
Yeah, I
should.
remember watching it and my dad was next to me. There were some very awkward scenes.
Deep Rising. That was a great movie. That was like The Mummy, but with like, you know, sea monsters instead of like an Egyptian mummy, basically.
Dude, that sounds cool. I haven't seen that.
Was that?
That sounds cool. I haven't seen it.
You must have seen Deep Rising.
No, I haven't.
Oh, come on.
I think I've seen Deep Rising
If you enjoyed you've
or
watched
Deep Blue Sea.
you've watched
Oh,
Van Helsing.
yeah. Oh, dude, Van Helsing's great.
I think you probably like Deep Rising then. People are mentioning Tremors as well. I think that was the 80s. Was that?
Oh,
80s?
yeah, 80s was Tremors, yeah.
But
Well, the start of it, anyway, yeah.
fucking glorious film though.
Oh, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful movie. The next one is Ashernabog says, "Hey Drinker, it was real great getting to meet you. Despite being the same height, you still somehow managed to make me feel short. I wish I could have made it back the next day, but my body was 4 days into a binge, so lugging him around made things difficult. I would have liked to go to Orlando, but between two jobs, it wasn't feasible. I have tons of questions for you since I watch a lot of your content, and I watched a lot of your recommends and have lots of my own. I like to watch 4 to 6 movies on acid every weekend. Nice. Last weekend had Heartbreakers, Romy and Michelle, Layer Cake, and Kiss Bang Bang. Anyways, that's all I've got for today. Go away now."
I love Layer Cake. I think it's a great film.
Good film.
Dude, I can't believe Kiss Kiss Bang Bang and The Nice Guys. The guy who made those made The Predator. I don't get it.
What happened?
I don't get it.
Batgirl also says, also for you charismatic, colourful, chatty, clarity-giving, composed, candid collection of chaps. Well, I forgot what I was going to say with this. But oh yeah, top 5 movie opening scenes. Does anyone have any?
All
Ghostbusters.
5 movie openings.
Ghostbusters in the library scared the shit out of me as a kid.
I really loved the opening to Wall-E.
Dare I say Saving Private Ryan?
Well, if you include the whole 20-minute sequence, like
I guess it
30
counts,
minutes.
right?
Oh, well, that counts, then that would be a really strong contender.
Matrix
me-
with Trinity.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's good.
Yes.
I'd have one of the Pierce Brosnan Bond films. I can't remember which one it is.
GoldenEye. It's got to be
I love-
Golden.
GoldenEye's so
I
good.
can't-
I
I love
love
GoldenEye,
GoldenEye.
It's been so long since I've seen the Brosnan films. They kind of got spoilt for me by Daniel Craig.
They're the ones I know the best because they were the era I grew up with. It's kinda
GoldenEye was my
interesting how that
favorite though.
works.
Sean
I watched
Bean in that.
GoldenEye not too long ago, and oh my
I'm
god, I thought I was watching
invincible.
the best thing ever. It was
Yeah.
so good.
It's just so energetic. It's so fun.
Dude, the dynamic between him and 006 is fantastic. Like I want to see more
yeah.
shit like that.
Yep.
Queen and Country, James.
Oh, so good.
No,
Someone mentioned as well, Inglourious Bastards as an opening scene. That's pretty fun.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
That's dude, that is hard. That's
Yeah.
Well, sounds like you've got a lot of candidates there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's any more obvious ones.
Star Wars.
Yeah, I do. I don't know how it compares
like
to
it
the
a lot,
greatest
but-
openings of all time, but
yeah.
it's definitely a good one.
What about Raiders?
Yes.
Some good shit. Yeah.
Yeah. Just like a self-contained little adventure to kick off the movie. Like,
Yeah.
brilliant.
Yeah.
Introduces the
Yeah.
character completely. Yeah. Like
I
it.
might watch that tonight in bed, touching myself.
I knew you were gonna say that. My brain was like, he's gonna
Just
say it. I was
trailed
like,
off.
why would he say that?
Yeah. It took me a while to think. Hang on, no, he did that.
There you go.
For
Wales.
for Wales.
No, for the long.
Hey, Timothy Dalton, Welsh James Bond.
Oh yeah, dude, he's fucking great. I wish he were in more
Oh.
stuff.
He's awesome. He's so
He's so great in Hot Fuzz.
He's excellent in Hot Fuzz. Perfect casting.
Yeah.
Feel free to spool through.
would have had more Bond if it wasn't for
Smile.
license
Yeah.
problems.
Jaws as well. Yeah. Great opening scene.
Yeah.
Mm.
Fuck's sake, you guys! Hey, we forget stuff, okay?
Well, that's the thing. With like your favorite ever, it's like I struggle to remember actor's name, let alone every single movie I've ever seen.
I think it's when you put on the spot. It's like
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
called upon to answer, and you're just like, oh,
I think we
thanks,
gave a
Braid.
whole bunch of good answers, though.
For questions like that, I have to go like through a list of movies, and then that'll trigger my memory of what everything was.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So we can all agree, Batman and Robin. You know, opening scene. where they battle
Absolutely.
Mr. Freeze. That's one of the greatest. Yeah.
Hi,
Yeah.
Freeze. I'm Batman. Great intro, George.
You're not
It's good.
sending me to the cooler.
This is going to be relevant
Cheers.
for Fringy, actually. So Joshua Levesque says, "Hail chaps, MauLer, how and when did you, Rags, and Fringy meet? Also, can you guys do watch along EFAPs for Andor? Love those and glad that you're co-host here."
Yeah, we're considering doing them for Andor. I think we'll try it out. We'll see how it goes.
We'll see.
Because it's really dependent on what kind of content we get, right? Like if it's very slow and contemplative, then there's not much for us to work with. Then it doesn't work
If it's
out.
good, that
If it-
might
yeah,
make
yeah.
it tricky. Yeah.
And then you get stuff like Boba Fett, where it's just a cringe fest, and you get to laugh at it throughout. So yeah, you get that. But as for wait, what was the first question?
I think it was how did we meet? UI and Rags.
From what I remember, is Rags ran a stream where you were invited to it and I was invited to it, and then I liked the cut of your jib, and so I sent you a message and said, "You want to hang out for a bit?" And then we did.
Yeah.
And that was
then
it.
the rest is
Done.
history. But
Yeah.
because I knew Rags for a while at this point.
Yeah, and on my end, it was I released the TLJ videos. Rags saw him, sent me a message saying he wanted to invite me to his podcast just to talk about Star Wars, and then we hit it off. We made the love, and here we are today. That's how it usually goes,
Yeah.
So that's what violent, forceful man love can do for you.
Mm-hmm.
Together.
Get a hit podcast.
Well, he ran a podcast. As soon as EFAP started, he was just like, "Well, fuck it."
Well, yeah,
We'll
because
just run
we
it
did
that way.
yeah.
Jump ship. I like it. Marksman of 117B asks us, or says, sorry, French trappers were well known for keeping good relations with the various tribes in the territories that they were hunting in. It's what helped them to survive all alone in the wilderness. Imagine if the French and natives worked together. For example, we have guns now. This demon doesn't stand a chance against us, only for it all to still go wrong. Yeah, it kind of touched on the point I made earlier, where you could kind of show the two factions cooperating a little bit to try and take down the Predator.
Yeah, and it could be a difficult writing challenge to get the two factions to work together, but other films have done it. There's stories that can do it. You find a way. Just do that whole bonding by trauma thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's only a difficult challenge because the writers want them to be enemies in the first place. They weren't necessarily enemies all the time. There's a lot of rewriting history going on in various different things.
I'll agree with you, especially in the context of there's a big ass fucking alien annihilating us. We should probably work together for this one.
Oh yeah,
that's
like
right. With the benefit of that, you can definitely bind these groups together.
In The Hobbit, with the elves and the dwarves fighting, when a bigger enemy comes along, nobody has to say anything. Everybody knows.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would argue the Legolas and Gimli become so close because they go through so many trials together and help each other out.
It's the theme of a lot of stories. Mass Effect, the whole point of Mass Effect is that all of these disparate alien races will ultimately unite together to fend off a greater threat to each of them.
Yeah.
To all of them, yeah.
Well, Game of Thrones was supposed to be about, but then they forgot that, and then they just killed the Night King. They're like, wait, now what do we do? Fuck.
So, hey, speaking of great openings, Mass Effect 3, that opening is
great. Yeah.
Crazy.
That's a good one.
Blade Runner.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of visual iconography, that takes some beat.
Yeah.
Blade Runner
is iconic.
The stuff to do with Blade Runner and that is one of those movies where you say they just don't make them like that anymore, and they probably never will.
You probably don't get a Blade Runner again in the current landscape. I'm not sure.
Which is a shame because technology is way better now, but it feels like creativity is much worse.
I
think the problem is
imagination is way worse.
Yeah,
and like Blade Runner was a big risk that kind of didn't pay off at the time. Like you don't get off in like $200 million risk, like a really big risk. People want safe, reliable investments in films now. Studios seem to anyway.
I saw someone in chat when I was talking about Predator 2 saying like I was being way too harsh on it when it's such an imaginative and creative thing, and it's like I think you need to give more credit to films back then, and they weren't just more imaginative and creative; they were better executed by far. Loads more effort went in. Like it's downright impressive. I get frustrated. I was saying this to Fring the other day. I don't like it when people almost talk about Predator as though the angle that's so impressive. Yeah, it's the like Predator's so fun because it's a dumb action movie and then it turns into a horror movie. It's like, no, the script is fucking great, man. Like it's way better than most scripts now.
That's like the cool thing when it might be that of course we remember the great films and we don't remember so well the ones that aren't so good at the time, but like man, like Aliens is like that's like a summer blockbuster movie, but it's a fucking amazing movie.
Yeah.
You know? And it seems like that association is a lot less common now, where like the big budget production can actually be like a great production.
Well, they'll do
Like
the
a great
thing where
story.
like, oh, you didn't like Alien Covenant? I mean, it's not that much worse than any of the other ones, even the originals. And you're like, what the fuck
Stop
is wrong
it.
with you? Stop.
Why are you defending something that you apparently like by saying it was always terrible? I don't understand
It's the
you.
weirdest shit, man.
Well,
I already
it's like in
hate the
Prey,
trend.
though. Like, the people meeting wasn't for the story. Like, they will find her because, well, there's an action scene coming and the Predator needs to be there, so they've got to meet for that action scene. It's like they've spoken about with Marvel. If the action scenes come first and you've just got to link them, as a writer, you're just restrained so much. Could you even write something at that point? So, well, I've got to make this next scene happen.
You are restrained for sure, but that is like what it means to be a good writer, is not just to come up with the ideas, but find ways to string them together in a way that makes sense. That's like your job.
But that's when you're
essentially.
coming up with the ideas. If someone else is giving you, like, you've got to do these 5 scenes, make it work, that's way harder to do.
And that is way harder. That's true. But you can make it work. That's the important part. It's just a lot more effort.
Yeah, the
But I
example
agree, it's really
everyone
hard.
goes to would be Mission Impossible Fallout had that restriction. The action scenes were done before the script was, and yet we got a pretty damn good script. So yeah, it's possible. It's just much fucking harder. And I don't blame any director that goes to Marvel and they're like, "We've done all your action scenes," and they're like, "Oh, I don't care then. I don't want to."
Wait, so you're telling me that in Black Widow, we have to have her falling skydive fight? It's like, yeah. Why would she be?
What
in
if I
the
don't
sky?
want to do that?
Why like, how is that? Let's figure it out. Oh, the red room's in the sky. We solved it, guys. We figured it out.
Yeah, genius. Next one is Unhinged, who says, "Praise sweet, my tiny little diaper-wearing Jesus, you're back, and I'm moist." Well, thank you. And I didn't go anywhere, really. I've done live streams already, but yeah, glad that you've noticed that I'm back. Harry S. Hole says, "I just finished Redemption, best thing that I've read in a long time. I like to picture a young Craig Fairbrass as Drake and Mackenzie Davis as Anya. Stay thirsty." Mackenzie Davis would be a good choice, actually. I like that. Bit too young, but she'd get there eventually, I suppose. J.K. Fozel says, "Hey, Drinker, could you please say 11 in the most over-the-top Scottish accent you can, preferably multiple times? It's for science."
What?
11. There you go. That's about the most over-the-top Scottish accent I can do. Yeah. Stiebeck B says, "I know it's too late for CGI discussion, but what about Davy Jones and the whole Flying Dutchman crew? After 15 years, it's still holding up. Not even to mention that DJ is the most underrated villain ever." Davy Jones.
Dude, Davy Jones' CGI is so good that I don't think they could ever have done better with practical.
Was that just at the point where it's like you kind of just assume CGI will be good? You know,
it was given the time and care it needed. The director would have filmed, and Bill Nye had a bunch of makeup on to match, and then dots to give the. Basically,
From what
they gave a shit about incorporating CGI. You see this in the behind the scenes for Lord of the Rings. Peter Jackson gave a huge shit about how the CGI was used. These days they go, "That's CGI. Franklin, can you sort that out?" And he's like,
yeah, like that seems to be the problem, is that it used to be that because CGI was such a new technology that required a lot of because it was so novel, directors would become involved in understanding the technology and how to use it. But now that it's so ubiquitous, like, I'm pretty sure there was an interview for She-Hulk where they were like, yeah, if we knew how hard it was going to be to have the main character be a CGI character, we probably would have written her, like, less to be like that. It's like, why did you not, like, you know what I mean? Like, how do you not even think about this when you're
Because they're not planned. Marvel shows aren't fucking planned. Ironheart is being filmed at the moment and they're still casting for it.
Dude,
I think
Doctor
there's
Strange
almost
was planned.
CGI can just save the day, no matter what.
Exactly.
I'll fix it in post.
It's just really hard. Like, if you haven't accounted for it on set with lighting conditions, like, it's hard. It's hard. Like, visual effects is difficult. Even now, it still takes a lot of work. I mean, a lot of yeah, go for it.
What's taken the cake for this as an example has to be Heimdall's son. That moment in Thor: Love and Thunder. That's quite possibly the most embarrassing piece of CGI I've seen ever.
That's Nickelodeon level. Fucking Nickelodeon level.
Was that like
composite?
Yeah, like
yeah.
It was, yeah, like, I don't know what that is other than a lack of time. You didn't know what you were doing. Like, you probably shot the scene without any clue, like, it's just, you know, forethought, right? Like, forethought in terms of the process, but yeah.
Well, normally, if you had anything, when you were just coming up with ideas, you would get everyone from every department into a room, and you'd be like, here are what we're going to do. Are there any issues? And then everyone should tell you the weaknesses and flaws. Whereas if you give people finished ideas already, it's too late. Like, well, we'll try.
Mm-hmm.
Next one is from Tyrion Razar, who says, "Hail Drinker, the drunkest, toughest, and most dangerous reviewer ever. At least Prey's protagonist was easy on the eyes. I love me some brown sugar." I mean, your own man.
Wow.
Yeah,
She was
fair.
hot. It's not. I think she was definitely hot.
Samuel the Infamous says, "I can't be the only one who hates the new design of the Predator's head. Yeah, it was fucking weird. Also, dog full on chasing a deer mid chase to sit on a bear trap.
That was weird as fuck. Where the dog triggered the bear trap, but only his tail.
With its tail.
I don't.
How's that weight related?
Could keep pace with a fucking deer fleeing at full speed.
That was also really weird.
Oh,
There's so many weird fucking things they did. I don't understand why. This is what I mean. Like, film is filled with these little moments where you're like, why though? Why are you trying to kill a deer with a little hand axe thing? That's one swipe from that is not going to be enough, love.
Well, there are things like that when they said that they filmed the movie, already had it done, and then they had to go back and add the dog into it. You're like, maybe that was one of the scenes.
Could be. Yeah.
Barish says, "Drinker, do you sell those Nah It'll Be Fine shirts?" I do indeed. You can go to my merch store on Teespring and you can get it right there. Nathan Cassidy says, "I remember people saying Northman was only good because every other movie is so bad right now. I can only counter that claim as Prey is that kind of movie to a T."
Well, who here has seen Northman?
Here, me.
Well, you guys could answer that pretty easily then, right? Like,
I think Northman is exceptionally better.
If I had to judge it in terms of artistic merit, I would say, yeah, Northman's a better movie than Prey, I guess.
Well, judging it by any merit, I assume you'd put Northman above Prey, right? Or no?
Yeah.
Apart from brown sugar.
I don't know if it's just like comparatively, like they're saying like, well, we've had nothing but garbage Predator movies for a long time. This is
well, I admitted to that immediately on like the first time we talked about this movie. I was like, the fact that they gave me a Predator who's hunting for sport tickled my fancy quite a significant bit. I missed that. I want to see and having the Predator drench himself in the blood of a fucking grizzly bear. That shit's cool to me.
See, I didn't like because that took away his stealth. That just seemed like when you're about he seems stupid. That's stupid to me.
It's the cover of a Predator comic.
I'm willing to believe that he's in the moment, just fucking relishing in the fact that he's glorified. I wouldn't disagree with you that it's bad for his stealth, but at the same time, he's just fucking loving the fact that he's beaten this.
It's like there's a scene where he's jumping from branch to branch and then he lands in the river. I'm like, if you're stealth, you wouldn't do that because now everyone knows where you are. So those are the stupid moments for me.
They have those that pay off in Predator 1, Predator 2, and a couple of, I think, others where the Predator will land in a puddle of water, walk, and slowly the cloak will start to, fizzle and then go out as like a reveal. So I don't know if they're trying to tell us the Predators aren't aware and that they're doing it for the first time ever for that Predator when we see it, or if it's just that they don't give a fuck at that point. They're like, yeah, I don't need my invisibility right now. I don't know.
Here's a question for all of us. Grimnack says, "So I've been really debating starting a channel, especially because of Rings of Power coming out soon. Have you got any tips for starting your channel off? Cheers, gents, and also hi, Rags." So I guess this is for all of us, really. Like, any tips that we can give this guy for starting out his own YouTube channel?
Make sure you got something to say.
And stick to what you're familiar with and passionate about. Don't just cover something because you were told to cover it or whatever.
And you don't. There's so many people that will try and make the first video perfect. However hard you try, in a year you won't like it. You'll think you're so much better. So you want to just start making videos and work on each video getting better than before. And over time, you'll learn what works and what doesn't. The best way to improve a channel is to start one and start doing it.
That's a good piece
Get
of advice.
stuff out,
Just start, because the process and making stuff is what will help you improve, not sitting around worrying about how it's not going to be perfect or like what you don't know. You'll figure it out as you go. And write scripts. Well, that's depending on what type of videos you want to make. I recommend writing scripts.
Yeah, and the other thing as well is people will click off videos as soon as they're bought, like within seconds. So unless you are doing like heavily scripted, really long form content like MauLer, obviously it depends what type of content you make. But for me, the first part of your video, don't do it should be punchy. Like you get people's attention straight away. Yeah, this is what I mean. Some people do different things.
You're right. I'm amused by it. If I was making a 5-hour video, I'd be like, how much of that should I make punchy?
well, this is what I mean. But for me, it's what I mean is essentially some people are like, well, I know it's me. This is my channel, and I'm doing this, and today I'm going to talk about, and it's like really long. I just launch into the video straight away.
Yeah. No, that's definitely good advice, because like that does actually put me off people's videos when it's like they do some self-indulgent intro that goes on for like several minutes. It's
well,
like,
this Saturday I went to lunch.
If you're gonna do an intro, keep it short, like 5 seconds tops.
Have good audio, for the love of God. Have
Yes.
good audio.
Yes, get a good
audio is
mic.
more important than visual.
That might be number one, actually, before anything else. As long as you have good audio, you can even have shitty visuals. Just have the good audio, and it'll get you through a lot of the trouble. But yeah, on the point of the sort of punchy thing, when I started realizing my rage videos were getting to be like an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, like I really do just have to start with like the opening scene of the film straight away. Not even any preamble of like, "Welcome to my video. I'm gonna be breaking." I was like, nah, just get into it straight away.
No, like I know it's your video. Thanks. Yep, let's go.
you know why you're here. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, I always think whatever analytics YouTube shows you in the back are what they care about. And one of the things they specifically show you is drop off in the first 30 seconds. And so keeping people watching the video and retention as much as possible is definitely important.
Big Dave K says, "Hey, Critical Drinker, what are your thoughts on Scotty's Scottish accent from Star Trek? Does it make you wince?" Yes. Also, check out my email. The rough animation is done. So this is the guy who's doing like a animated version of me saying some dialogue, and it's really good. And yeah, I've seen the rough version of it, and it's great. Like, can't fucking fault the guy's work that he's putting on this. But yeah, Scotty's accent from Star Trek, it's a very stereotypical Scottish accent. And it's just
that wasn't even what the fuck was that? It's a very stereotypical phrase.
Risky.
It's like, how can I
Roll
make
with
it
those R's.
possible for what I talk?
Was Chekhov fucking him at the time or something? What was going on there? Maybe.
Jimmy Doohan was he was Canadian, wasn't he? And so what he produced was just like his kind of approximation for what Scottish sounded like. And you know, good on him. It was nice that he did it, but like as a Scottish person, yeah, it doesn't really line up with anything that I've ever heard.
Do you know, there was an interview I watched of Bill Nye, not Bill Nye, playing Davy Jones. I remember him saying he was originally going to go with a Welsh accent for Davy Jones, but he found when he was practicing Scottish out that it bit so much harder and so much more tough and impactful in the lines that he decided to go with Scottish instead. It's interesting.
Welsh is very musical, so if you want to like bites, then that's not the language.
Well, that's the thing. I think it was a great accent that he went with for Davy Jones.
Do you remember Girl with the Dragon Tattoo? Daniel Craig's first couple of scenes, trying to do an English Swedish accent, and then the director of it just went. And so the rest of the film is just English, just regular.
That was such a fucking pointless movie. It's like the original Swedish version was really fucking good with like Noomi
Rateface.
Yeah.
That's mean.
I like it when it's the other way around as well. Like you got David Tennant when he's Doctor Who. I had no idea he was like had a Scottish accent, and then he starts talking normally. Like, what on earth is that?
Yeah. It's it's weird.
I think the guy who was like in charge of House when he met Hugh Laurie didn't know he was British, and he was already using his American accent, and so he was like fucking blown away when he found out that wasn't his accent. He's like, the fuck.
And the director gave advice, like he said, do not hire a Brit for this role. That was one of his actual rules.
Surprising, isn't it? I like the British people doing American accents. There's quite a few of them who are in famous roles. When you reverse it, I think you get a little less luck in that department.
It seems that way,
Yeah.
and especially if you want somebody to pretend to be Australian, like good luck.
You can always smell a fake Australian, can't you, Fringy?
Is it? Is it genuinely a really tough accent to mimic? Like
It
actually?
seems that way. It seems. I think it might not be. I think the reason why American is seems like the easiest is because we just get exposed to it the most because it's like the dominant in media.
Yeah,
And then British after that, and Australian is much more uncommon.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame it. Like, if someone said like, "No, Welsh is the hardest one to do," I'd be like, "No, it's just that nobody fucking heard it." So the set is like trying to.
I don't know that
impersonate-
it's harder. Yeah,
it's probably maybe American would be one of the most difficult if only it were barely ever heard. You know.
yeah.
I'll do one final super chat here. Just question for all of us. What are your favorite comedies? This is from Eric Brown. He says, and are we ever going to have a return to the witty or body kind of comedy that we got in previous decades?
No.
Hot
Maybe.
Fuzz.
Yeah, the Cornetto trilogy I would definitely highlight. Monty Python movies for sure.
Mhm.
In terms of British comedies, like Yes Minister, Fawlty Towers,
Blackadder.
Oh yeah.
Nazis, all of those were just fucking brilliant. Blackadder, pretty much any
Coupling.
take your pick.
I'd go Coupling, Dark Place, Black Books, IT
In the
Crowd.
thick of it.
IT Crowd.
Yeah. But yeah, they are all at least 15, 20 years ago.
They're
Pretty
all
much.
Oh yeah,
Well, Father
comedy died over here, in my opinion, like in the early 2000s. And it's weird because we've got the same comedians on TV that we had then. I just don't find them funny anymore.
Do you guys watch Vicar of Dibley?
Used to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't mean modded. I'm
I think they were going to bring it back at one point.
shit. I fucking loved that show back in the day. Like the episode where she has to eat like 4 Christmas dinners.
Oh, what was the priest show?
Father Ted.
Father Ted was
Yeah,
awesome. Yeah,
Oh,
when they get stuck in like the lingerie departments. I was like,
I heard it.
we can't get caught in here.
In Ireland, Father.
Yeah. That army was amazing.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah. Jeeves and Wooster as well. I remember that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh God, there was so like I know there was obviously great American comedies as well, but like honestly, if you go back to the 80s and 90s in the UK, like there was fucking glorious comedies back then.
Take it, we
did.
said Blackadder.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
say it felt like there was an era where Britain had the patent on wit in comedy for sure. Cynical and wit.
That was
Red Dwarf.
But yeah, the question being, can we get back to that? It's like, well, not when you've got the kind of restrictions that we have on what can be said and done nowadays. No, I don't think you can.
Yeah, you're mostly going to be looking for that now in like very select stand-up comedians. That's about all that's left. You don't really like what TV shows right now are coming out where you're like there is on the level of Blackadder or Faulty Towers.
Even the comedians are dying out. Like I remember Frankie Boyle used to be funny
Until he got cancelled.
Cliff.
He fell off a cliff. Yeah.
Now he's a absolute card-carrying leftist.
Yeah.
Well, he has to be because otherwise he wouldn't get work. He went off into the ether and couldn't get work for years and years, and then he came back rebranded.
Oh,
The thing
you
is,
know
no one
what?
talks about him now because he's not funny anymore.
yeah,
like
but
that-
he still
that
gets
kind
his paycheck.
Comedy was what he did. That was
Yeah, 'cause it's
that was
BBC.
his selling point.
Exactly.
Grand Tour. I would probably want to mention that. That's pretty good. I know it's not strictly a comedy show, but it's funny as fuck. So I don't know.
And they're not PC at all.
No.
I much prefer Top Gear to Grand Tour. I think it went downhill when it was Grand Tour. I stopped after like second series.
There are some episodes of Grand Tour I fucking adore though. Like some of the adventures they go on are so insane.
Oh,
MauLer and I watched one together. It was just
It's
so
just
much
a
fun.
barrel of fucking laughs is what it is, and I'm very sad that they didn't get to keep going because I think at this point it's probably like wound down to the point where they're not gonna keep it
Might
up.
get a special here or there.
Yeah,
The specials were amazing though. When they just
Yeah,
have
I
like a
think-
mission across a country.
well, yeah.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I just want to see them drive like fucking like dune buggies across Thailand or something. Like just ridiculous
Dude,
stuff
that
like
episode where they get airlifted like a Lego level thing to build, and they have to drive it to a destination, and it goes wrong in every way you could imagine. I love that episode.
Well, there's that one where they had to drive all across the salt flats, and one of them liked his car so much he like imported it back to the UK.
Yeah.
That'd be Richard Hammond. He falls in love with all his fucking cars. That guy, yeah.
And it was
Yeah, I mean,
compared to that to where on another episode, I think they drove across a river, they had water in the bottom of the car, and the guy just came along with a gun and just shot the bottom of the car so the water drained out.
Nice. Hey, if it works, right?
Well, they said the locals have a different way over it.
No, it's great stuff. Like that kind of well, it's funny because like that camaraderie and that like humor and that easy banter that they had between themselves, like they tried to replicate that on the new revamped Top Gear.
Yeah.
Because it's like, yeah, we're going to put together a bunch of people that have never fucking met each other before and just like hope that they have great banter. Who knew
And
that they didn't?
That was the thing with the Top Gear trio. It wasn't really a car show. And I don't know if you've ever seen, it's on YouTube. Top Gear does gardening. And it's literally just them trying to do a garden. And it's all the disasters you'd expect. But it's awesome. Then they built a road in another one. And it still works exactly the same. It's the same show with a different topic. So they nailed something which I don't think other people could do again.
Yeah. No, it's, yeah. Different sort of time, I suppose. But yeah, like I know we're not going to get through all the super chats tonight, so I'm probably going to finish it up there because I know we've been streaming for like well over 3 hours now. But yeah, I just want to say thanks to you guys for coming in for this.
Thanks for bringing me on. Appreciate it.
No, thanks for bringing
pleasure.
it. We haven't had you on nearly enough, and Disparu and Az, I know we've had you on
Too
many
much.
before, but Az, I'm actually genuinely amazed you're still alive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
not
fine.
bad, Az, not bad.
Especially when I saw him drinking out of the bucket. So that was a wow.
Somehow got less drunk as the night's gone on. It's impressive.
I just got more tired. That was all.
And it balances out, I
cancel
guess.
each other out. Yeah, yeah.
We did all right.
I-
Oh, nice.
Good. This was full when I started. So it's,
Be slurring a lot more.
yeah, but yeah, thanks you guys for coming in. Thank you for everyone that's given me super chats and everyone in chat that's like contributed to this. As always, you guys are fucking awesome. And if we've got any outstanding super chats, we'll get them all covered on Sunday night. Probably we'll do a catch up stream. But yeah, and thanks to my mods as well for keeping the peace and keeping everything civil and properly British, which is what we expect here. God
Poor
damn it!
Fringy, damn.
Yeah, well, it's kind of semi-British when you're Australian.
Well,
Honorary-
I'm not sure
honorary.
how people would feel if you said that to them, but I guess
You're
we're
the
still
cool
technically
underdog.
part of the Commonwealth, right?
I like to think of Australia as our little mistakes.
Yeah.
Hey, right? We got bountiful fields of dry
Spiders.
grass and deadly animals. Okay,
Yeah, How does it feel living in a place where fucking everything wants to kill you?
it produces hardier people. I'd like to think.
Yeah.
you
That's
know?
like the
You just
true
gotta-
origin of all the negative, like evil animals. There, where we just shoved all the ones we didn't like in
Well,
Britain over there.
I can't remember who it was, but I think Jay said it was God's beta test in Australia. He's trying to figure out what happened.
I think, I think
Section it off.
I think a predator would land in Australia and be like, nah.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
starts sweating a little bit. The film is called Predator, but the real predator is the cassowary that's pursuing him, ready to dig his claws into him.
That would legit
Well, I remember
pose
it's
as
like
a threat to
field where
him, probably.
Parachutes like just down to this like remote kind of like landing strip in Australia, and like 2 or 3 kangaroos just come up to him and start attacking him.
They square up with him.
They have their boxing gloves as well. They pass him a set of boxing gloves. He's like, "Come on, let's go.
Yeah,
Come on."
Do you have a fucking permit to land? Yeah.
I think what would make that particularly entertaining is if we pick like the most platypus, right? So unassuming, except for that little venomous pincer that it's got.
Well,
I had no idea they had a venomous pincer.
Well, sorry.
that's just what they want you to know.
I remember I went to a place. It was like a platypus place, like a platypus enclosure or something, and they showed us a picture of what it looks like if you get stung by that thing. The main fact that I remember is that morphine will not work for pain relief for like months. You just got to
Wow.
deal with that pain.
Months?
That pincer.
Yay.
Yes, months. Like actually,
I didn't
3
know
or 4
venom could
months.
last that long.
It's always loved about
It's
uh,
it's pretty
Britain. Like,
potent.
the scariest thing you'll find in Britain is like a daddy long legs.
Well, when I went to the
Oh,
UK,
no.
I guess this is kind of funny because this is different cultures. When I saw squirrels, I was enamored. It's like, wow, look
Oh,
at
they're
these little
awesome.
fellas.
Squirrels
They're
are pretty damn
everywhere, right?
cool.
Yeah,
They are
right.
cool, but like they're very normal, right? If I see a kangaroo, I'm not like, oh wow, a kangaroo. It's like, yep, all right, there he is, just hanging out.
My favorite Australian one is it? I don't know how to pronounce it. Like the quokka or something. It loves
Koala
selfies. It just
or-
like no
quokka.
quokka. Yeah,
Quokka,
it's like a
yeah.
little furry guy, and it for some reason just loves people and photos. And so there's so many just selfie pictures. They always look really happy. Like
They
this is the
smile.
best
They're
thing they've ever done in their
permanent
life.
smile. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I went there. There's a little island. It's in Western Australia. There's a little island. It's just filled with them. They're everywhere. There's like
It's
thousands of
awesome.
them. Yeah, it's really neat. They're like the one nice animal in this country. Everything else will try to kill you if you get too close.
Anyway, on that bombshell, we're going to end it. So, thank you for everyone who joined us tonight, and fuck off.
Bye.